series, and it's a best of three. But the Burnaby Lakers feel more like the Burnaby Titanics, and they've hit a giant iceberg in the shape of an A. And they floated onto a deserted desert island named Booyah, where four guys named Kahn, Steenhouse, Greenhall, and Vince rule. The only question left to be answered is, will the Lakers be saved in time, or will the A's move one step closer to a national championship? We'll find out next. It's game number 5 of the 2001 Minto Cup, live from the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena in St. Catharines. And welcome back to St. Catharines. It's game number 5 tonight of the best of 7 2001 Minto Cup. After the Burnaby Lakers won games 1 and 2, the St. Catharines Athletics have been a completely different team in games 3 and 4, and we've got a series that's all tied at 2 games apiece. Hello everybody, Derek Wills alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Drennan for the call on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. And Andrew, St. Catharines, after a great performance in game number 3, followed that up with an even better one in game 4.
Now the secret that we're looking at here tonight, as we saw with Burnaby for the first couple of games, is whether this day off, layoff, is going to mess them up at all. Whether that feeling that they had going for those 2 games, just being totally unbeatable, is going to wear off, and whether we're going to be back to where we were last weekend, or whether the A's have now managed to convince themselves we can win this series. We're a better team. I think we've shown it over the first 4 games, but I think that that's going to be the click for what they're looking for.
In speaking with athletics coach Don Smith before game 4, I said to him, if you can win tonight, is the mindset of winning 4 straight games now going to enter your mind? He said yes. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is, as long as it stands in Don Smith's mind, that's great. If it's in the players' minds, that's going to lead into some trouble. I mean, the Burnaby Lakers aren't the most dominant team out of the West for 6 years in a row without a reason. And if they start thinking 2 games at once, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. I think the players and everybody else has to take it 1 game at a time. Don Smith has shown he's willing to go on a limb in this series. And as long as he's the one that's doing it while the players are on the floor taking care of business, then I think they're going to be in good shape.
And let's not forget that Burnaby looked like they had all the momentum in the world after winning games 1 and 2. All of a sudden, the tide turned. St. Catharines wins games 3 and 4, and we've got a best of 3 series. Really, when a series comes down to just 3 games, any team can win it. So who's going to win it? That's the question.
Well, I've been loath to go out on a prediction on this weekend as it goes, but I will say I think if St. Catharines wins tonight, this series is over tomorrow night. I think that if St. Catharines, after this layoff, comes back out and beats this Burnaby team again, it doesn't even have anything to do with Burnaby. It has to do with St. Catharines having convinced themselves that they can win this series, that they can beat this team handily every time they go out now. And as long as they win this game tonight, I think that they're going to be in the dominant position. And I think it comes down to whether St. Catharines can win this game in their minds, not whether Burnaby can lose it.
One of the key figures we looked at heading into game number 1 was the goaltending matchup. It looked like it was pretty even in the first couple of games, but Matt Vince has no doubt been the best goaltender in games 3 and 4. So maybe Andrew Leishon coming back down to earth. What do you think?
Well, I think more it's the St. Catharines offense popping up. They're figuring out ways to score on them. And Matt Vince, as we've seen all year, you figure out one way to score on him, he'll figure out how to stop that faster than you'll figure out another way. I think Matt's shown that so far, and I think that that's probably going to continue.
And Craig Cahn's definitely improved his play in games 3 and 4. He's been in the penalty box, but he's been on the score sheet in a number of ways. We'll keep an eye on him as well as the goaltenders tonight. It should be a good one. Coming up next, live from St. Catharines, game number 5 of the 2001 Minto Cup. Stay with us.
We're Cogeco, your cable company, and we bring you a whole lot of entertaining and exciting programs from around the world. But you've told us that all your local news, weather, sports, and community events are just as important to you. And so we work hard to make sure that you always have the best of both, from around the world and around the corner. After all, isn't that the beauty of having cable in the first place? Cogeco. taking you there.
A near-capacity crowd at the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena tonight. The A's have won 2 games in a row, and this best-of-7 2001 Minto Cup is tied at 2 games apiece. Hello, everybody. Derek Wills alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Drennan for the call, live on Cogeco TV 10. And you hear that St. Catharines chant, booyah, booyah. Andrew, we talked about it in the intro. Burnaby has to find some way to get some emotion going tonight, or this series is pretty much over.
And it's especially important in the first period, as we saw in the first period of the last 2 games, games 3 and 4. Burnaby came out totally flat. St. Catharines got an advantage, and while Burnaby tried to fight back as the game went along, they really didn't get enough going to catch up to that lead. So that's going to be the test for Burnaby, is right now whether they can get over the emotion of the crowd, come back here and get something going here in the first period. That's hugely important.
The spotlight will be shining very brightly on that guy tonight, Andrew Leishon. You see the goals against average, 6.96. Normally that would be good. So far in the series, it hasn't been good enough. But Matty Vince, wow, what a couple of performances in the 2 St. Catharines victories. He has been the story of this series, and these 2 guys, no doubt, will have a large role to play in the outcome of tonight's game. St. Catharines, of course, will wear the home white jerseys tonight. Burnaby wearing the road greens, and St. Catharines will move from left to right on your television set here in the opening period, with Burnaby moving from right to left.
Now we welcome St. Catharines' version of Kate Smith from Philadelphia, Jen Adams, sang the anthem last couple of nights. They won, so they're going to keep bringing her out here until something goes bad.
And we'll now break for the performance of the Canadian National Anthem with Jen Smith.
Jen Adams.
Jeanette, is her full name?
Jen Adams.
Jen Adams.
The Kate Smith.
No. Okay. My apologies to Jen Smith, but it's Jen Adams that bring the A's good luck. So she'll be here until they lose. Will they lose? That's the question. If this streak they're on continues tonight, I would have to say no. Andrew finally stepped up and made a prediction on this series. He said if St. Catharines wins tonight, it's over tomorrow.
Well, I seriously think the way that St. Catharines has played through the first 4 games, Burnaby needed some breaks in the first couple of games to win. In the last 2 games, St. Catharines has been totally dominant. So you get this win under your belt. As I said, you erase the day off factor that both teams had, because Burnaby's looking to that to regroup. They don't get that pleasure for the rest of the series. There's games tomorrow night and Saturday night if need be. So if St. Catharines come out here and play like they did on Monday and Tuesday, then really you go back and you've got about 19 hours to try and figure out how you're going to beat a team that's beat you 3 games in a row. And I'm not so sure Burnaby's been able to figure that out, because St. Catharines is winning with a bunch of different players in a bunch of different ways.
You mentioned Burnaby needing to get a couple of breaks. I think they need to get a couple of breaks early on tonight. If St. Catharines jumps out to the big lead that they have in games 3 and 4, this one could be over before it gets started.
One thing that we're going to have to look at here, though, is one thing that they didn't do in those 2 wins is keep building on that. They had a good first period and then slowed down the second. If they're going to get off to a good start like that, then they're going to also want to keep establishing that as the game goes along.
Russell wins another face-off, but the Lakers able to steal it. Heading down the near side, spinning around is Hansen. Wires a quick shot in. Matty Vince able to make the stop, but I'm sure Burnaby will be looking to take more shots tonight, Andrew, because they've been trying to be a little too fancy.
There's something to watch just over the next couple of minutes. I think Burnaby really wants to score that first goal. They haven't done it in the last 2 games. And that might affect their shot selection as well, about whether they're just trying to get one by.
Whoever scored first in this series has won the game, so definitely a trend we'll keep an eye on here tonight. Battle up along the far boards. Lakers trying to dig it out. Finally comes loose, but the shot clock will expire on the A's as the Lakers get it back up the floor. Here's the captain, Mark Miyashita. He'll need to step up here tonight and play a big role for the Lakers. Now Ray dumps it off into the near corner. Sneaking back up high, but slipping on his way in was Kevin Fines. Quick shot in. So far 2 shots of the night, both coming from the Burnaby Lakers. And the Lakers now have a new shot clock. Here's Fines. We'll see if he can regain some of that feistiness he had in the first couple of games. Now Binning, little speedsters, moving around nicely. Now Taylor Ray, bottom of the near circle, winds the shot in way wide, and it comes all the way back to mid-floor, but hops into the St. Catharines bench, and we got Matt Skinner tied up in the high slot with Taylor Ray.
Look for Matt and John Donnelly to do what they've been doing the last couple of games, which is just cause a lot of confusion and contusions in front of the net and basically try and disrupt whatever offense Burnaby has going.
I know you took you all day to think about that one. Here's Tim Ham, thinking about scoring some more goals. Gets a shot in. It was a weak one, though. The Lakers grab the ball, but St. Catharines is going to take over. I think. No. Yeah, the signal. It looked like it was in favor of the A's, and then LeSean argued and turned back the other way.
I think he threw it up, and Bill Fox had blown the whistle and hadn't blown it back in yet as LeSean tried to get the fast break going.
Here's Nenad Gaich, gets it far side. Hansen out there again. Some quick changes for the Lakers so far in the opening period. We've played 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and we still have no score. Gaich has it again, trying to sneak towards the net. Still sneaking in, fires the shot, goes off the side of the far goal. And now we've got a loose ball in behind the A's net. Kevin Dean exchanging shots with Kevin Olsen. Lakers will hold on to it, sneaking out. We've got a couple of A's defenders tied up in Jay Levesque and John Donnelly, but they get away with it. Levesque will take it into the far corner and then move it in behind the St. Catharines net. Now Kevin Dean up the right side. He'll get it ahead just to mid-floor. Now the captain Bowman fires the pass ahead. Pat Russell has it. Looks near side, finds Mike Hamanuk. A's have 13 on the shot clock. Now Panicia, far circle, looking to cut in, spins back towards the boards, gets it in front. Hamanuk couldn't handle the pass, and the Lakers will corral the loose ball and head back down the floor. Here's Hodgson, stops, bottom of the near circle, looks for a lane. St. Catharines giving him a bit of a ride. Now Kevin Fines grabs the loose ball, works it to the far side. Binning couldn't corral it. Matt Vince thought he had it, but it was swatted away nicely by Kevin Fines, and the Lakers will hold on to possession with just 7 seconds on the shot clock. Back into their own territory. Taylor Ray trying to get a quick shot away, but he can't as he's mauled by Russell and Bowman, and the A's again will take over.
Perfect timing there by Pat Russell to come up meet Taylor Ray just as he's about to receive the pass. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Ray was looking to catch and shoot. Russell got there just in time to disrupt everything. Make sure that ball went harmlessly into the corner.
He's back down the floor. There's Kahn with a shot. Tried bouncing at 5-hole, but LeSean able to make the stop. Rebound all the way back down the floor. A's corral it and quickly get it back into the offensive zone. Here's Kahn in close. Craig Forrest takes the shot, but LeSean gets the right arm up to make the stop. Back to Greenhall, trying to sneak in. Here's Sean Greenhall leading the series in scoring, trying to get it in front to Jamie Forrest, who was hammered down to the concrete. Here's Kahn again, takes the shot, loose ball, loose slot, but the Lakers are able to come up with it. Back over mid-floor. Here comes Jamie Plunkett, gets it near side, Hansen all alone, but oh my, what a stop by Matt Evans. Now Miyashita, chasing the ball into the near corner, comes back to Hansen. Lakers have 20 on the shot clock. Hansen works it back down low into the near corner. Here's Olsen, finds the shot in, tried to pick a spot just inside that near post. Rebound back out, up over top of the near circle. They'll work it up the far side now. Brown tried centering it, but it's intercepted nicely by Billy D. Smith. He'll head down the floor. He has been instructed to take the lane to the net if it's given to him. Instead, he'll park himself in behind the Laker goal. Now he has a lane, makes 1-2 moves, but oh, big save by Andrew Lachon. And what were the Lakers thinking? Smith all alone. He could have made a sandwich, had a coffee, and had a donut for dessert with the amount of time he had, Andrew.
Good job back there selling the pass behind the net. Didn't look like he had any intention to come around the front. Problem is, both his fakes were low, so Lachon knew to go low.
That shot in, they score! Gary Benning from the low slot fires it by Matt Vince, and with 5:15 done in the first, the Lakers take a 1-0 lead.
And there was a penalty upcoming on the play there, I believe, to Matt Skinner there for holding in front of the net. And unfortunately, by holding that player, it kind of messes up the entire defensive structure. Leaves Benning there. Benning's been a good offensive threat. Doesn't have a lot on the score sheet to show for it in this series. It's been around the ball and creating a lot of chances. So far, Burnaby's offense is a completely different offense from what we've seen in the first two games.
St. Catharines looks like they've retreated more to that defensive style we saw in game 1 and 2, Andrew.
Yeah, and the two players that aren't showing up so much other than little spurts are Connor Greenhall, and they really need to get these guys moving around and reestablish that offensive dominance they were showing.
Now some nice passing broken up by Taylor Ray. Lakers again take over. Mark Steenhouse hasn't seen a lot of time so far tonight, Andrew. He's out there now, though.
Yeah, well, it might just be a matter of line combinations that St. Catharines is looking for against Burnaby.
Here's Lindsey Plunkett sneaking in. He's always a threat. His shot, though, goes wide. Now Jay Levesque picks it up along the far side. Moves it ahead. Mark Panacea deep inside Burnaby territory. Gets it back up high. Here's the captain, Dan Bowman. A's have 19 on the shot clock. Now Hamanuk, near half boards, looking for a lane towards the net. Instead, dumps it back off up high to Panacea. Panacea looking for a lane. Instead, tried feeding Pat Russell, but the pass was high. Panacea, great work to get his own pass, and then drop it back up to Russell. His shot way wide. Lakers grab the rebound. Here's Jeff Snyder. Snyder very feisty in games 3 and 4. We'll see if that trend continues here tonight. Takes it into the near corner. Now finds back to Snyder. Lakers have 15 on the shot clock. Sneaking out in front was Snyder. His shot way wide. Tried to chop it away from Matt Vince, and then got tangled up in behind the A's goal with Dan Bowman. Quickly back down into the offensive zone. Here come the A's. Jamie Flores, far side. Waiting for his teammates to catch up. Gets it back to Billy D. Smith. St. Catharines with 15 on the shot clock. Down low, here's Craig Kahn. Kahn still has it, being mauled on his way to the crease. And it bounces loose as Jamie Flores corrals it, but it's knocked away from him. Still loose until Flores is able to come up with it. Gets a low shot in, but didn't have a lot of mustard on it as the shot clock expired.
Good job by Craig Kahn there. First of all, drawing the penalty. Andrew Gwindon heading into the box for holding. But also Nick Farina, who's been Kahn's nemesis the last couple of games. Tried to give him a couple extra shots afterwards. Kahn just moved away from it. Kept on with the play, and hopefully that's kind of Craig Kahn we're going to see tonight.
I wondered if there was going to be a penalty on that play. Kahn, of course, tried cutting from the far boards into the high slot, but he was grabbed by two Lakers on his way in, so good penalty call by the officials, and the A's will get their first power play of the evening. I think they could use it, Andrew.
I'm looking, and I don't, this must be a timeout, I would think.
Strange time for a timeout.
Well, Andrew Lachon heading to the bench, but normally when you do that, there wasn't any equipment repaired, so it would have been a water break. But he wasn't drinking water for the last 15 seconds of it, so Burnaby taking the chance to instruct their players. St. Catharines would really like to get one here and deflate Burnaby a bit and get this crowd back into it. Probably the best crowd we've seen so far, and people still coming in, as we can see out on the concourse.
We're getting bigger and better as we go here, Andrew.
That's true, but you want to get them into the game. You don't want, the first couple of games we had decent crowds, and they really didn't have much to cheer about.
I'll tell you what, the difference so far tonight with Burnaby has been their patience. They're not all riled up about something. They're not all pissed off at the A's. They're just playing patient lacrosse, and so far it's paid off. They've got the 1-0 lead, 12:30 to go in the opening period. A's though with the man advantage. Here's Hamanuk, up high now, Greenhall. Goes to Panacea far circle. St. Catharines 8 on the clock. Here's Hominick near side, gets it in front. Kahn tried going down low. Rebound to Panacea, 2 on the shot clock. Greenhall got it in. Now Kahn trying to spin around. He's hammered down to the floor. St. Catharines will keep possession, but again, Craig Kahn's got guys all over him.
Yeah, well, he's going to have guys all over him, partly because he's probably the A's best all-around player, and also partly because he'll react. And whether he can resist that and just keep an eye on where the ball is and keep his focus is going to make the difference.
He has been reacting throughout the series, Andrew, but he's not reacting as flagrantly as we've seen him react, which is great for Craig Kahn. Loose ball inside the Burnaby zone. Lakers pick it up. Here's Jeff Snyder carrying it down the right side. Now 1 minute to go in the St. Catharines power play. Nice job by the duo of Greg Flores to get that ball loose. Here's Kahn in all alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves, but he can't get it in behind Andrew Lachon. Kahn had all kinds of time, and he scores on those chances 90% of the time. Kahn still has it. A's with 20 on the clock. Back to Sean Greenhall. We'll see if he can utilize that low shot or that bounce shot. Gets it to Panacea. Back to Greenhall. Bounces it in between the legs of Andrew Lachon. And on the power play, the A's tie the game at 1.
If there was any justice in the world, you take away that assist rule that says the last 2 people who touch it, and you give the assist there to Craig Kahn and to Mark Steenhouse. Because as Jeff Snyder picked off the play before, bring it down, Steenhouse stepped off his bench, nailed Snyder, forced that ball loose through the breakaway pass. Not only did he make the check, but then he picked up the ball through the breakaway pass to Kahn. Kahn went down, went past the net a bit, but he kept the presence of mind after he went by the net to figure out where the ball was. Got it back up to Greenhall. A beautiful setup. Greenhall with the bounce shot. Other than the part where there's 20 seconds of mayhem in between, that was a perfect play.
That bounce shot is a thing of beauty, but here come the Lakers right back. Their shot goes into the near corner, picked up by Olsen. Burnaby with a new shot clock, though. Olsen up high, Lindsey Plunkett. Those 2 guys have certainly been the offensive threats that have been most dangerous throughout this series for Burnaby. Loose ball, though, inside the St. Catharines zone, picked up by Matt Skinner. He'll run it over top on mid-floor and then drop it off to Steenhouse. As St. Catharines makes some changes, Steenhouse carrying it down the left side. 10:40 now to go in the opening period. We're tied at 1. A's tied this game up in the power play. An absolute beauty by Greenhall. Here he is again. Now far side Steenhouse. He'll look for a lane, winds the shot in. That one just bounced wide. Tim Ham grabs the rebound, heads in front, tried getting one of those little nifty shots off that we saw from him the other night, but this time it was knocked down in front as, again, we've got a loose ball, and St. Catharines again will take over.
Finally got their offense on track. Took them half the first period, but they seem a bit more confident going down the end now. We got a penalty coming up to Farina.
Took Steenhouse down in front. A's get Vince to the bench and get the 6th attacker and Craig Kahn on. All alone, Kahn takes the shot, but it was right into the chest of Andrew Lachon. But Kahn, as the 6th man coming off the bench, Andrew, how dangerous is that? Because all the Burnaby players were in a pack right around that net. Kahn had all kinds of room, but couldn't fire on the shot.
Well, it's important to try and get this shot here because of that mess in front of him. And you can see here's this pass as Kahn just comes into the play. He's just trailing. There he goes. Unfortunately, Lachon's got that angle pretty blocked off. He kind of saw that pass coming. Took the 4 steps out, so Kahn really didn't have much room to shoot at, but not what Burnaby wanted. They got the quick start. And now they're going to be in a position where they can fall in a hole here. And
St. Catharines certainly looks a lot different since scoring that goal, Andrew. Again, we've got that offense flowing, which is certainly when the A's play best.
Now, I was curious about that as this game started off, whether they were going to be tentative. After the first couple of minutes, well, Burnaby came out with a huge offensive flurry. But one thing I noticed, which we might want to keep an eye on later, is one of the reasons I think Burnaby is managing to get in close is while they have Donnelly and Matt Skinner on the floor for St. Catharines, they're bigger guys. They're actually playing higher up, and Pat Russell and Dan Bowman are being left behind, and they're smaller to cover the crease area. They're not doing a very good job so far in holding the Burnaby players off. So we'll see if the coaching staff adjusts that a bit after realizing that these Burnaby guys are really pushing their way in towards the net and getting some good quality chances.
Andrew, I'm going to share an observation with you. Think about it for the next few minutes until we get a stoppage. Andrew Leishon coming to the bench any opportunity he can. I think the Burnaby Lakers are tired. I think they're going to try to use every chance they can to get a little bit of rest. The official finally came over and said, listen, you got to go back into your net. So let me share that thought with you, and you can share your thoughts with us. Next stoppage in play. Here's Hansen up high. Hayes on the power play. Lakers still control. Minute and a half to go in the St. Catharines man advantage. 9:28 to go in the opening period. St. Catharines and Burnaby tied at one apiece. Derek Wills alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Drennan for the call live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. Tim Ham trying to hit Pat Russell with the pass, but we've got a stoppage in play. Again, it's going to be St. Catharines ball. Jeff Snyder not happy with that call.
Snyder getting called for too quick a change coming off the bench there for Tim Ham. Tried to force the pass in the Burnaby end.
Here's Hominick, back up high. A's get the power play unit set up. Now Kahn into the corner, tried hitting Greg Flores, who came streaking towards that low slot. Kahn's got it back. Dangerous position for Craig Kahn in behind that Burnaby goal. Waiting, gets it to Hominick near side. Back to Greenhall, over to Panacea. Looks for a lane, tried to get the shot away low, but it was wide of that far post, and the Lakers are able to grab it. Here's Snyder again. He'll walk it down into St. Catharines territory, try to rag a bit of time off this penalty. Still 35 seconds to go in the St. Catharines power play. Now Snyder hits Olsen streaking and takes the shot, but Matty Vince makes a big shave, short-handed. That would have been a big goal for the Burnaby Lakers. That's a big save as Matt Vince able to prevent the short-handed marker for Burnaby. Now back down the floor. Craig Kahn knocks it away from Andrew Leishon. Ball into the near corner. Mike Hominick tried to get it free, but Lakers able to grab it. Here's Curtis Hodgson. Gets it ahead. Now near side. Hansen drops it off. Nenad Geich. Now back to Hansen. Gets it back way up high to Olsen. And we're back to even strength with 7:55 to go as the Burnaby penalty has expired. Here's Steenhouse, has it knocked away, but it bounces right over to Rory Glaves. Glaves quickly down the floor. Kahn in front to Donnelly, but he couldn't handle the pass. And the Lakers get it back up to mid-floor. Now Lemke, up to Olsen. Olsen waiting very patiently, trying to get around Smith and Donnelly. We'll wish him the best of luck on that try.
The monster defensive line, you got Levesque, Glaves, Donnelly, and Skinner on the floor at the same time. Have fun getting to the net through that unit.
Here's Panacea. Certainly has some speed to waste. We'll see if he can use that tonight as effectively as he has in the first three games. There he is again. It's knocked away. Tony Printup able to grab it. Wires one in. That one's wide of the near post. Rebound corralled by Snyder. He'll take it in behind the Laker goal. Works up the near side for Kilby. Now Burnaby back into the offensive zone. Brown, little miscue on that pass. Hayes able to grab it and head back up into the offensive zone. Here's Rory Glaves feeling all by himself deep inside the Burnaby end, but he'll head off to the bench for a change, not before dropping it off to Craig Kahn. Kahn, far circle, fakes the pass, still has it, high slot, now gets it over to Flores, spinning around, Jamie Flores gets the shot away, rebound near side for Greenhall, and the A's have a new shot clock. Now Greenhall, spinning around, trying to cut to the net, but it was knocked away just as he got into the low slot as Leishon picked it up. Very aggressive forechecking for the A's, Andrew. Greenhall and Kahn in there causing a little bit of havoc.
I think they're looking at Burnaby creating a lot more on the offensive end, so they want to try and get them stopped as soon as they can in the defensive end.
Good plan. Lakers again trying to take the lead. Sneaking in, Lindsey Plunkett, loose ball. Donnelly will have a shot at it. Gwindon in there fighting with him. Finally comes loose. Flores trying to grab it, but the shot clock expires with 5:59 to go in the period.
Flores might have had a shot at that ball too, except Donnelly didn't know he was there, so I think one of them knocked it out of the other's stick, so fortunately harmless.
Here's Kevin Dean. He'll play up high for the A's, drops it back off to Greenhall, now near side. Bowman, Greenhall being taken away from that ball by Snyder, and we've got another stoppage in place. Snyder gives Dave Bowman a little bit of a shot, and the A's will start this one all over again. Here's Steenhouse winding one in, right off the right shoulder of Andrew Leishon. Steenhouse gets it back. He'll cut to the far side, looking for a lane. Gets knocked away from the ball, trying to knock it back into Steenhouse's stick is Kevin Dean, but the Lakers finally grab hold of it, and Gwindon who's feeling the pressure of a forecheck from St. Catharines like we haven't seen before in this series, just dumps it into the corner. Smart play by Gwindon.
Burnaby's doing a very good job of being effective on the stick check, though, knocking those balls loose.
Now here's Benning, shoots, scores! Gary Benning with a great burst of speed, spinning around, finally cuts into the high slot and bounces it by Matt Vince, and the Lakers regain the lead 2-1.
Actually seemed like a bit of a harmless play going on there, but Benning took another quick bounce shot. Hey, look, here's Andrew Lachon heading to the bench again, which, you know, at a certain point, especially because he's taking his gloves and his helmet and his stick off and taking a bit of a wander around, this is a bit extreme.
Well, for those of you who doubt the Cogeco TV10 jinx, Andrew and I talked in the pregame about Gary Benning and how dominant he's been offensively, but the fact he hasn't been able to get his name on the score sheet that often, and just as we say that, he's got 2 goals 15 minutes into the game.
And now what's going to be important to look at here for Burnaby is whether Gary Benning turns into the offensive force on the team or whether he's supplementing with some of the help, because the way that he's been, the way that he's been in this series, you're still going to look at the Olsons and the Plunketts and the Snyders to be your catalysts. And if you're looking around at Gary Benning, he's playing very well tonight. I don't think he's going to beat the St. Catharines Athletics, though. So hopefully this is just a question of, for Burnaby anyway, somebody else to look out for so that you can take some of the pressure off your big guns.
Well, if Benning can keep that speed up, he's going to be a threat all night. Here comes Olsen, always a threat, but his pass up the near side for Snyder, knocked away. Now Tim Ham and Dan Bowman converge on that loose ball. Bowman comes up with it, works it up the left side for Rory Glaze. Now here's Mark Panicia, drops it back off over midcourt. Dan Bowman's got it back. A's have 16 on the shot clock. Bowman, near side for Mike Hominick. Hominick sneaking around, gets it up high. Panicia into the slot, cuts back far side. Panicia, another number 7, has some speed, uses it, and scores! Mark Panicia, just like that, has tied the game at 2. Oh boy, you love to see that speed, Andrew.
Beautiful play there by Mark Panicia, especially considering who he pulled it on. That close into the net, you basically know you're going to get some lumber laid on you. There's going to be bodies in the way, and he made that move, as you can see here. Here he comes, and now here's Taylor Race stepping up on him after going around Plunkett, and he beats them both to the front of the net. Lachon basically left abandoned. Beautiful play by Mark Panicia.
So the A's with 4:20 to go in the period. Again, deadlocked at 2. Derek Wills alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Trennan for the call live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. Here's Billy D. Smith, now back to Greenhall, back to Smith near circle. A's have 8 on the shot clock. Smith's pass for Kahn was a bit wide. Now Gwindon chasing it down up along the far boards. Comes loose, Kahn able to grab it, and the A's have a new shot clock. In close, here's Greg Flores, takes the shot, but a great save by Andrew Lachon. Lakers finally able to come up with it. Taylor Ray deep inside his own zone, being guarded by Greenhall. Breaks loose up the near side, gets it ahead for Nenad Gaich. Lakers will try to rebound with a quick goal. St. Catharines has answered twice so far tonight, as we're tied at 2. Now Hansen tried winding it in, but he had too many bodies in front of him. Gets his own rebound up high. Hansen trying to spin around Smith, gets it ahead. Took a little floater into Matt Vince. And it was a real tricky shot for the St. Catharines goaltender to stop. It was just kind of one of those knuckleballs, Andrew. Dove right down in front of the St. Catharines goal.
One thing he had, there was only 2 seconds on the shot clock, so he knew the ball was coming towards him, so he was prepared for anything that was going to show up.
A's back into the offensive zone now with 3 minutes to go in the period. Here's Kahn, has a lane, gets it ahead for Steenhouse, but his stick was held up by Kilby, and the Lakers are able to grab possession. Now up the left side, here's Snyder again. Seeing all kinds of time on the floor tonight for Burnaby. He'll work it up the near side. Now Kevin Fines winds the shot in. Rebound, here's Benning again. The little sneakster trying to get loose. Gets it over to Plunkett. Plunkett near side. Couldn't hit Olsen with the pass, but the Burnaby Lakers grab the rebound. Now Benning, far side. And Plunkett's got it again, gets it into Fines. Fines tried the low shot, but Burnaby runs out of time, and St. Catharines will take over. And you mentioned the catalyst for Burnaby. So far tonight, it's been Gary Binning. He's dynamite out there so far in Game 5.
So that's not the coach go jinxed, it's Andrew being psychic. Throw that name out of nowhere as somebody's going to get this offense going. It's exactly what he's doing, and that's why we're seeing a much different first period than we had the last couple of nights.
Here's Mike Hominick now, looking for a lane towards the net. Trying to cut in, but it comes back to Bowman up high. Now Russell winds one in. Oh, that went off the leg of Andrew Leishon and nearly in behind him. Burnaby gets lucky as it bounced just wide of the near post. Now joining us, Chris Drennan. Chris, how are you?
Pretty good, Derek, and yourself?
Oh, I'm peachy.
Excellent.
Here's side, here's Hansen again. 1:43 to go in the period. Lakers with 15 on the shot clock. Penalty on the way against St. Catharines. Burnaby gets Leishon to the bench and gets the sixth attacker in Kevin Fines onto the floor. Lakers being very patient. Up high, Olsen near side for Hansen, but his shot way wide. But St. Catharines will be on their way to the penalty box. It's number 32, John Donnelly. And with 1:27 to go in the first, the Lakers will have a power play.
Well, John Donnelly, no stranger to the penalty box. Definitely spent more than his fair share of time in there this year. Penalty that, well, I mean, it's a questionable penalty for John to be taking. I believe it was an interference call. He was interfering with a Burnaby player while he had lost his helmet. But nonetheless, it's still interference. Not a smart penalty to be taking with a minute and 27 seconds left in the period.
Face-off will go to the right of the St. Catharines goal, and as has been the story so far in the series, Chris, goaltending very good here in the opening period.
Well, I think it's not only the goaltending. I think both defenses have tightened up. The Athletics were playing a little more of a spread-out zone at the beginning of the period. They've tightened everything up, and Burnaby players aren't getting the chances to cut to the net that they were early in the period. I think Burnaby took the day off to give Leishon, a much-needed rest so he could get some confidence back. But they've also tightened up their defense, which is reflected in the 2-2 score.
Face-off won by the A's. Greg Flores trying to corral that loose ball. Now Jamie Flores in there trying to help out brother Greg. They've swatted all the way back down the floor. Burnaby has to retreat way back into their own zone to play this ball. Up the near side. Lakers power play unit. Lindsey Plunkett, Gary Binning. Brown gets it near side now. Hansen up high. Plunkett back to Hansen near circle. Hansen, of course, was the overtime hero in game number 1. Loose ball in front of the St. Catharines goal. Kevin Fines somehow comes up with it, wires the shot in. It went off the left leg of Matt Vincent up the far side. Now Binning, Hansen near circle. Lakers have a new shot clock. Plunkett fakes the pass, gets it over to Hansen. Now Binning, trying for that hat trick here in the opening period. Kevin Fines, though, grabs the loose ball. Gets it far side, Binning again, taken down in front by the A's. Now we've got a break. Here's Jamie Flores being chased down by Lindsey Plunkett. Flores still has it. Finally Plunkett able to knock it loose. Great job, Chris, by Lindsey Plunkett to get back and prevent the St. Catharines breakaway.
Oh, definitely. Lindsey Plunkett knew he had to get back. Otherwise, Jamie Flores had an unobstructed route to possible goal on Leishon, but definitely excellent second effort put in by Lindsey Plunkett. And you'll notice that throughout the night that as long as this game is close, Burnaby is going to be putting in that second effort. I mean, this is definitely a Fisher cut bait situation for Burnaby. St. Catharines does hold a bit of an advantage. Burnaby's been in St. Catharines for a week. They've got to be a little bit road weary. So, it's a do or die situation for Burnaby.
15 seconds now, the time remaining in the opening period of game number 5. Be sure to stay with us for the first intermission. Andrew McKay lining up his guests as we speak. Still 48 seconds to go in the St. Catharines penalties, so Burnaby, unless we have more penalties before the end of 20 minutes, will finish the period on the power play and carry 33 seconds of that power play into the second.
Well, I think it is a possibility. One thing I have noticed about tonight's game as opposed to others, there hasn't been the pushing and shoving away from the play and after the whistle. There hasn't been the chippiness. So far, there's only been 3 minor penalties called, 2 of which were to Burnaby. But, I mean, it's definitely a different game tonight. Both teams, once again realizing it's a big game. This is a very, very important game for both teams.
Matty Vince has played so well so far in this series. If you had to pick an MVP right now, would it be Matt Vince?
Oh, I think Matt Vince is my MVP no matter what happens for the rest of the series.
Well, I'm not going to pick one until I see who wins. Here's Miyashita, near side, gets it back, circle. 16 seconds on the shot clock, 1 second on the game clock, and that will do it for the opening 20 minutes in game number 5. And as usual, it's been a great one. The 2-2 tie at the end of one period of play from St. Catharines.
Well, definitely a fantastic period. Burnaby, after their 2 losses, first back-to-back losses since the 2000 regular season, they came out and they realized, they have to do something. They have to come out strong, which they did. They came out strong. They were pressuring St. Catharines a lot, and it did show. I think Burnaby, are well within striking distance still, but can St. Catharines pick up the pace? Can they find their offensive groove that they were finding so easily Monday and Tuesday nights?
Some of the big guns for St. Catharines, a tad quiet in the opening period. Guys I look towards, Sean Greenhall, but he did score that goal, but he was quiet other than that. Tony Printup, a guy who's come into the lineup. St. Catharines and their coaching staff certainly hoping to get some contributions from him. Mark Steenhouse didn't have a real good period, I thought.
Well, Tony Printup, I believe he's more of a go-to guy. He's a setup player. You're not going to be looking for Tony Printup to score many goals, but he will be there with the assists. Mark Steinhaus, yes, a slow period for him, but he didn't get the ball very much. I didn't see him out on the floor very often in the first frame. And Sean Greenhall, one thing Burnaby's going to have to do, they're going to have to shut down Sean Greenhall from the top, because Sean Greenhall will stand up top and shoot from there all day and take the goals when they come.
And Sean Greenhall has those 2 patented shots. Of course, the bounce shot, I don't know how he gets so accurate with that shot. The other one's that low shot. He starts up high, he winds down low, he lets it go, and that's a very difficult shot for a goaltender to stop, isn't it?
Well, the bounce shot is a very difficult shot for the goaltender to stop, as you said, Derek, because it picks up speed when it bounces. It's not like a hockey puck or a baseball or any other sort of ball out there. It picks up speed when it bounces, so it's a very difficult and very dangerous shot to stop. And Sean Greenhall, I mean, the only way you can explain his, perfect accuracy is years of practice.
Andrew McKay ready down at floor level. We'll head down to him for the first intermission. Andrew, take it away.
We're joined now by Tom Sakamore, chairman of the Minto Cup Committee, but tonight, more importantly, also the chairman of the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame and Museum.
Right.
Tom, must have been pretty nice to take a look out there, see all those Hall of Famers from the Ontario Hall of Fame, the Canadian Hall of Fame, all gathered together.
Well, it was very, very nice. And Ross Powless, he come down from 6 nations. We had 5 or 6 native players, Lacrosse Hall of Fame and Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame, and a great number of our Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame members. It's just a delight to be around these fellas. The stories they tell is just fantastic, believe me.
And it must be kind of special as well to then bring them here to watch the national championship and how the game's being played today as opposed to how they played it in the old days as well. For some of them, it's got to be a good contrast.
Well, it is, and as I say, I love being around these fellas because they know. Ross Powless said to me last week they should take the left-handed goalie out and put a right-handed one, Burnaby. Within 2 minutes, they've done the same thing. So it's just great being around these fellas. They've so much knowledge in lacrosse, it's just wonderful.
Now, speaking of the Hall of Fame, I know there's some events upcoming for the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame, which is located right here in St. Catharines,
yes.
which you mentioned. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we have a golf tournament out in Georgetown on the 29th of September. And we also have inductees, wine and cheese at the museum and at the Ramada Inn on the 20th of October. And right now we've got the people are signing upstairs. In 134 years, we've only had 2 lacrosse stamps, and we are Canada's national sport. Now they've moved to Canada's national sport. Sumo wrestling has got 2 stamps, and so we want more stamps. And I'm sending letters and petitions to 305 federal MPs, and then we're going to go with the provincial MPs. And so we'd like to get some more stamps.
So for a lot of people, obviously on Saturday, the lacrosse season is going to end in Ontario, and for you it sounds like it's just getting started.
You're right, it's just getting started. It's a full-time job, unpaid of course, but we need everybody to support these endeavours, and it's just a wonderful lacrosse Hall of Fame, and also the St. Catharines Museum at the Lock 3, and they should go down, and we've got lots of literature upstairs for them to partake with.
Okay. Well, enjoy your off-season, whatever it may be. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it
My
much,
pleasure.
Tom. Tom Suckamore, the chairman of the Minto Cup Committee and also of the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame. 2-2 after one period. We'll be right back right after this.
Would you like to come in?
Oh, no, it's way too late. Okay.
I see the tables have turned. What are you doing?
Oh boy! It's way past my bedtime!
Call me mistress, you disgusting little worm.
Okay, sometimes being single could be a pain in the... But a few years ago, my friends and I made this bet.
Come on, guys. What do you say? Tomcats bet. The last single man gets the whole pot.
And you're out if you go gay, Gary. All right, Gary's out.
And I really need the money.
I'm letting it ride. All of it.
You owe us $51,000, plus the minibar.
Now the only way for me to settle up is to get the last standing Tomcat.
Oh, yeah, baby.
To settle down.
Dude, we just ran over your girlfriend. Hey, do not say that word.
Luckily, I've got a secret weapon.
Ooh, foxy lady.
You're gonna have to marry Kyle within 30 days.
I'm never getting married, right, honey?
Won't be a problem. I mean, how bad could this guy be?
I can't believe I've done this. I delivered Natalie right into the devil's lair.
From Revolution Studios
My dad's company invented this new drug. It's better than Viagra.
comes a comedy
This is the best wine ever.
about just how hard it can be.
We're all very excited to be here today. Clearly.
To stay single.
Let's swap some bodily fluids, baby.
You are not falling in love with this girl. The last cat standing gets the kitty.
You're gonna have sex with the first woman you see. The first woman you see. Hi. Excuse me. Second woman you see.
Tomcats.
Fantastic. You're like a big bad dominator. Come on, show me what you got.
Stop the rock.
Here's Grammy.
And welcome back. We're joined now by Travis Cook, inducted into the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 1997, originally from Akwesasne. Played in the old National Lacrosse League in 1975, you said. And I've heard a lot of stories of that, obviously, through Terry Sanderson about what it was like in the old days. It's got to be a bit of a different change for you guys to then come out and watch these guys running around as they are. It's got to be a bit of a different game.
Well, it's not as physical a game, I don't believe, because there's a real lack of wooden sticks out there. Years ago, it was all wooden sticks. Very, very few plastic sticks out there. But I think it's the same game. You still have to put the ball in the net, and a lot of teamwork involved, and we're seeing a lot of that tonight.
Now, we were just talking to Tom Suckamore, and he was mentioning how much fun it is to get all the guys back together and start telling stories. You finding the same thing?
Well, wonderful. That's one of the things I enjoy about coming back to any of the national championships, whether it be the President's Cup, the Mann Cup, or the Minto Cup. You get to see a lot of friends that you bumped heads with years ago, and it's always great to see a lot of your old buddies and just rehash some old stories and have a good time and a beverage of choice or two and just enjoy.
I think that's an official part of lacrosse,
Well,
is the
I think
beverage
so.
of choice part.
Well, it's a great game.
I'm glad you're having fun. Enjoy the rest of the
Thank you
game.
very
Enjoy the
much,
rest of the
Andrew.
weekend. Thanks for stopping
Thank
by
you,
with us.
Andrew.
2-2 after one period. We'll be right back with the second period of game number 5 right after this.
We're Kojiko, your cable company, and we bring you a whole lot of entertaining and exciting programs from around the world. But you've told us that all your local news, weather, sports, and community events are just as important to you. And so we work hard to make sure that you always have the best of both, from around the world and around the corner. After all, isn't that the beauty of having cable in the first place? Kojiko, taking you there.
welcome back to game number 5 from St. Catharines. Derek Wills alongside Chris Drennan and Andrew McKay for the call live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. 2-2 is the score through one period of play, Chris, and obviously both teams playing very well defensively in the opening period. St. Catharines had some nice spurts on offense, but it wasn't anything like what we saw in games 3 and 4.
Oh, I don't think either team's found their offensive groove yet. Look for both teams to come out shooting this period. The one thing I noticed St. Catharines is doing to sort of stifle the Burnaby defense is they're getting in the Burnaby end when Burnaby gets possession, and they're pressing. They've got a man on the ball right away, which eats up some of the time on the clock.
Now, the goaltenders obviously have been a big bonus in this series for both teams. Now, you were a goaltender.
Yes.
Your nickname was Target.
Yes.
There's a great story behind that nickname, so why don't you tell us?
Well, the story goes, I was in grade 9 at Holy Cross, and, going out for the field lacrosse team, I walk out, they look at me, grade 9 kid, doesn't know much about lacrosse, we're sticking him in net. So, for the entire duration of the season, they decided to use me to practice their shot and, not so much score, but, practice how hard they could shoot at me. And that just kind of kept on going throughout my entire career. And the one thing I will say is I had bruises, I had bumps, but I always came back for more. Just ask anybody I played with.
I think you took a few shots in the head as well.
I think I took a few too many in the head.
So that's why they called him Target, because he was out there for target practice. They actually didn't try to score, they tried to hit you instead.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Strange but true. Athletics and Lakers tied at 2 through one period of play. Burnaby still with a 33-second power play heading into the second period. The Lakers, of course, the road team tonight, they have the road green jerseys on. St. Catharines, the home team, they've got the home whites. And we'll move from right to left on your television here in the second period. Burnaby will move from left to right.
Well, Burnaby with the 33-second advantage. Look for them to try and exploit this right away. Look for them to try and win the face-off. Actually, Olsen has been doing a good job matching up against Pat Russell. Pat Russell, St. Catharines face-off specialist. And throughout the second half of last game and this game, Olsen has been doing a fantastic job, trying to win the draw off Patty Russell. Patty Russell, he does pretty much exclusively face-offs and some defensive work, but, he is being tested by Olsen.
Russell has taken 107 draws. He's won 66. He's lost 41, so very impressive stats, but not quite as impressive as they were after game 1 and 2. He has been kind of coming back towards the pack a little bit. Lakers will continue the power play here. 15 seconds to go with the man advantage. Olsen, far side from Yashida. Back to Olsen, up high, looking for a man. They've got 11 on the shot clock, 7 to go on the power play. Quick shot, rebound for Fines. He takes the shot, but he was rolled outside of the St. Catharines net by Greg Flores. Now he gives Matt Vince a little shove on his way out. And St. Catharines, unfortunately, didn't have much of a reaction for that, but I think it was pretty harmless.
Well, that's the thing. I've seen Matt Vince get hit and defend himself. Matt Vince is, not adverse to diving in there and throwing a few punches on his own behalf.
Here's Greenhall sneaking in, shoots and scores! Out of the blue, Sean Greenhall steps off the St. Catharines bench, receives the pass, and takes one of those shots, and just 46 seconds into the second, the A's take a 3-2 lead.
Well, as we take a look at the replay here, we see, I believe it's Steinhaus, move the ball across to Sean Greenhall, who's just coming in your picture, and there it is. Sean Greenhall from the top lets it go with accuracy beyond compare. And as I said before the end, at the end of the first period, Burnaby has to stop that if they want to stop St. Catharines.
I liken Greenhall's low shot to a knuckleball. The reason I liken it to that is because you see, if you watch his stick closely when he releases it, it's kind of a turning motion as he flips his wrists ahead. It spins the ball upward and then makes a dive down at the end. Very, very tough for the goaltender to stop. It works yet again, and the A's have the lead. Here they come right back into the offensive zone, led by a guy who's not an offensive specialist by any mean, but gets the job done in John Donnelly. He'll drop it off to Rory Glaze, working it up the right side, gets it ahead, now Billy D. Smith. Smith, near side for Craig Kahn. Hayes trying to set the offense up. Kahn looking for a lane towards the net. Comes into the slot, has a bit of a lane, flips it ahead, but Greg Flores couldn't receive the pass, and the Lakers steal it, led by Mark Miyashita. Back down the floor. Miyashita's pass for Gwindon was knocked away. Vince wanders outside of his net. He'll run around for a couple of seconds before finally dumping it ahead to Billy D. Smith. 2 minutes have gone by here in period number 2. Burnaby, remember, started the period with a 33-second power play, but soon after that power play ended, Sean Greenhall coming off the bench gave the A's the lead.
Well, that's definitely one thing Burnaby is going to have to work on, their special teams. Their special teams in penalty killing was absolutely awful last game, and it hasn't been very much better this game, and their power play as well.
Burnaby, though, will take over here. St. Catharines with a shot clock violation as we welcome back Andrew McKay, who's grasping for breath.
Oh, that was a breathtaking goal.
Certainly was. I suppose the cigarettes have nothing to do with it.
Not at all. There's children watching, Mr. Wilson. Here's Rory Glaze with the ball, whose father just told us we were doing a bang-up job, by the way.
A bang-up job?
Yes, pulled me
Is that
aside
good?
out on the street. I think so. He was smiling.
All right. Hayes back into the offensive zone. Here's Mike Hominick. Been a bit quiet so far in this series. We'll see if he can pick it up. Hominick so far in 4 games. Not the type of numbers we're used to seeing. He's got 15 shots, no goals, and 6 assists.
Good heads-up play there, though, not to take the shot that bounces around, let St. Catharines get their defense established. He knew he wasn't going to score from 84 feet away, so threw it safely into the mesh.
Burnaby right back down the floor. Pick shot by Olsen, who's been quiet in the last couple of nights. And we've got a stoppage in play. Burnaby's going to hold on. Lindsey Plunkett's got it into the far corner. He'll sneak in behind the St. Catharines net, comes out the near side. Lakers with lots of time, 22 on the shot clock. They get a easy shot in. Matt Vince will make the save. If they keep shooting the ball into Matt Vince's chest, it's going to be a long night for Burnaby.
Well, it's been a long last couple of games when they kept doing it. Really a long series. As they've got a lot of shots, but not a lot of dangerous ones. They keep that up, then we might be going home after tomorrow night.
Quick pass in front. Here's Dave Bowman looking for his second of the year. Andrew, Dave Bowman, after scoring his first in game number 4, all of a sudden has all this offensive flair.
Although he may have just wasted it there. This may be the last we hear from Dave for a couple of years.
Who knows? A little bit of confidence will go a long way.
I wanted to point something out here. We might see a bit of a different game called here in the second. I was privy to a conversation with whom I won't mention, but there were certain people around here not impressed with how the game was being called in the first period. And I don't know if we cut it on the air, but the director of officiating was actually called down to have a chat. So we may see a much different second and third periods than we saw in the first as far as what gets called and what gets let go.
So you're speaking in regards to penalties?
Penalties, holding, obstruction, all kinds of things like that.
Here's Billy D. Smith coming in. He was obstructed just a tad. Loose ball near side. Jamie Flores stucks underneath the check. And it comes loose back up the mid-floor. Mark Steenhouse. Nobody better at grabbing loose balls than Mark Steenhouse. He'll walk over top of mid-floor. 15-17 now to go in the second period. A's have the lead. 3-2. Derek Wheels alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Strennan for the call, live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. Here's Kahn, near side, being mauled as usual, heads back out to the near side, gets it back from Greenhall, wires the shot in, it goes off the inside of the right leg of Andrew Lachon, and Burnaby's looking for some breaks. They just got one.
Andrew Lachon had no idea where that ball was, wasn't even expecting the shot. Kahn just flung it towards the net. Very well placed shot, almost put it through the 5-hole. That could have been a killer.
Here's Hansen, far side. Tried dropping it off to Olsen, but Matt Skinner all over him like flies on honey. Now Matt Vince wandering around like a vagabond. Moves it ahead and gets a nice cheer from the St. Catharines faithful here at the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena. Now Hominick back up high. Gets it to the captain, Bowman. He works it near side for Mark Paniccia. Paniccia down low into the near corner. Now Tony Printup. St. Catharines looking for Printup to step up and make some plays. He'll work it to the far side for Bowman. Quick shot in, knocked down easily by Lachon. And he's pointing to his crease as if to say, hey, look a little bit closer, he was in my space. Well, we do have a couple of penalties on the way. Craig Kahn making his nightly appearance in the penalty box, as does Jeff Snyder, who has been almost as guilty as Kahn throughout this series.
Fortunately, it's 25 minutes into the game this time. I think by this point on Tuesday night, Kahn already had 3 penalties. So
I think you're right.
A bit less to worry about here. And Snyder, who's been probably Burnaby's most physical and noticeable player throughout this entire series too. So at least if Kahn's going off, Snyder goes with him instead of Nick Farina, because that's the trade-off we've been seeing the last couple of games, which obviously is not a fair one.
No. Still not a fair one, but a lot closer. Here's Benning. Has been very good tonight. He's got both Burnaby goals. Works it into the high slot. Now Taylor Ray has it stripped away, but gets it right back. Trying to get around Dan Bowman. Fires the shot in. Mintz makes the save. Didn't know exactly where it was, but he's able to locate it inside of his equipment on that left arm. And he'll work it back up the floor for Glades. Now Greenhall coming off the bench. Got that neon green t-shirt on yet again. That, of course, coming from the Mark Steenhouse School of Fashion. Now here's Smith inside, passing it too high for Greenhall. Loose ball near corner, corralled by Ham. Back to Steenhouse, all kinds of room, but his shot goes way wide. Rebound ability, Smith. And that shot from Steenhouse did not get a piece of the net, so the shot clock winds down on St. Catharines.
The St. Catharines defense is showing me a lot more in the second period than they did in the first. They're really clogging up those arteries down there, causing some trouble, making it a lot harder to get towards the net.
We should mention that we've got a near capacity crowd here at the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena tonight. If you're planning on coming out to game number 6 tomorrow night, you better get your tickets early, if not in the afternoon. This place is going to be packed.
That was the other thing. Mr. Glaive said he was enjoying it so much he almost stayed home. I told him, don't do that. If you can make it down to these games, as entertaining as Derek and I are, it's a lot more fun being here in person.
Plus, you can just watch us in the morning.
Exactly. I don't know that I'd encourage that to anyone, though.
Hayes trying to catch up to the Lakers deep inside St. Catharines territory. Nice job by Skinner and Donnelly combined to break that play up. Thought there might be a penalty on the way, but since they got away with it, it was a good play.
As you notice now, Skinner and Donnelly playing more on the back end around Matt Vince, and Gary Benning's getting tied up a lot more as a result of it.
Here's Benicia. He's got lots of speed. We saw him use it earlier on tonight. Quick shot in by Greenhall. Again, he's trying that bounce shot. Thinks he's got LeSean beat on it. Not this time.
This
Loose
has been
ball into the corner. Greg Flores has a hold of it, looking for a lane to the net. Now he's got one. Instead, he'll dump it back up high to brother Jamie. Now Flores moves it up the right wing. Sean Greenhall's got it. Panicia knocked down near circle. Ace have 15 on the shot clock. Penalty on the way against Burnaby. Matt Vince off to the bench. Mike Hominick on as the 6th man. Now Hominick's got it in the circle. And we've got another stoppage in play. We've got 2 penalties coming up, Andrew. As Jamie Flores is taken down, Burnaby is going to send 1 man to the box, and I think a second going against Burnaby. So St. Catharines, by the looks of things, will get a 5-on-3.
Kevin Hansen gets called on the delayed penalty. You're going to see Kevin Hansen just crunch Flores from behind. You can see over here on the right, there's Flores, and he throws his leg out and just trips him over. And,
I'll tell you what, Andrew.
And actually, what's odd is Jeff Snyder went to the box on the first one. It was actually Mark Miyashita who interfered over on the side with Panicia, as we saw in that hit. But either way, a 5-on-3 here for 2 minutes.
We're in the national championship. These officials will do everything in their power to avoid calling a 5-on-3 at the same time. So it's got to be flagrant, and it was. And the result is a 2-man athletics advantage for the next 150. Moving it around nicely, lots of room on that floor. Greenhall far side, gets it back, now near circle. Kahn winds it in, and it nearly snuck underneath Andrew LeSean. Again, he's got trouble finding it, but Mark Miyashita in there to help him out. Back up the floor, here's Taylor Ray, being harassed by Kahn, loose ball. Here come the A's, 3-on-2. Here's Pat Russell in, spins back into the near corner, and gives his team a chance to catch up. Russell was mugged in the corner. Somebody call the cops. There's going to be no penalty. The reason being, it's a 5-on-3 advantage already for the A's, so the next penalty will most likely come against St. Catharines, but at any other time, that would have definitely been a penalty. Now Hominick. Far circle, back up high to Greenhall. Now back to Hominick, looking for a lane, tried to get in, takes the shot, gets his own rebound, and the A's have a new shot clock. Hominick, far side. Greg Flores gets it back up high to Greenhall. Now to Flores. Hominick tried getting Kahn up the near side, but it was intercepted and swatted right into the Burnaby bench. Still 50 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. 10:15 to go in the second period. St. Catharines leading 3-2. Derek Wheels alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Trennan for the call. Live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. Now Kahn gets it high slot. Near side Panicia. Tried to find Flores. And Mark Panicia received that pass just outside the crease, Andrew. Had a pretty wide open lane to the net. Tried to be a bit fancy, hitting Greg Flores on the far side. And that's when the fray was broken up.
Leishon did a good job of getting over and covering up that little hole in the net. Panicia had about half a second to put that ball in. Didn't get there in time. Unfortunately, no scoring chance.
Scrum ensuing up along the near boards. Kevin Fines in there trying to get it away from Captain Dan Bowman. And Burnaby taking a few liberties with this penalty kill because they know chances are there won't be another penalty called against them, at least right now. But Burnaby has killed enough. And we're back to even strength with 9:20 to go here in the second. Big shot in. Rebound come up the near side. Kevin Dean tried to grab it. Now he pokes it loose, but that ball was inside the crease.
Wanted to mention one of the differences I've noticed between Leishon and Vince. Leishon's standing up strong, but he's having a hard time corralling the ball. So he's making the stops, but he's turning into rebounds. So St. Catharines is getting those second chances. Matt Vince isn't doing that so far, and that's going to make a difference if that continues.
Using one of my words now, Andrew. Corralling. I love it. People out west listening in on the internet broadcast will like it. They've got road
also
stuff
thinking
out
these
there,
Eastern
right?
Ontarios, they think corral is a big fancy word.
Big shot in by Brown. That's way over top of the St. Catharines net. Rebound bounces wildly down the floor as the shot clock expires. St. Catharines will take over. 8:45 to go here in the second period. St. Catharines 3, Burnaby 2. This best of 7 national final tied at 2 games apiece. A's move it back up the floor. Here's Billy D. Smith. Now Greenhall. Near side, Craig Kahn. Kahn trying to find a lane towards that net all period long. Instead, tried hitting Greenhall up the far side, but his shot goes wide of the near post. Kahn gets it back. Very, very dangerous is Craig Kahn. He's being mauled and taken down again. Tried passing it back to Jamie Flores from his backside, but pass me over top of Flores' head, and Matt Vince will wire it into the net behind the Burnaby goal as the shot clock expires.
That's funny. When Nick Farina is next to Craig Kahn, his mouth does not stop moving. He's yapping the entire time. Kahn doing a pretty good job of ignoring it here. But Farina is not shutting up anytime he's around Kahn. I'm not sure what he's going to accomplish with that, but I think if he was going to get under Kahn's skin, it would have happened by now.
Good point. Farina's just wasting his energy. Not that it matters. He's not on the floor very often. Here's Greenhall. Works it up high. Now Captain Dean spinning around. Tried finding Tim Ham, but the A's having some problems completing passes here in the second period. Good thing they've been great with the loose balls. Steenhouse picks up another one. 25 on the shot clock. Steenhouse, bottom of the near circle. Gets it ahead. Now Dave Bowman leaping like Bobby Orr through the Burnaby crease, but he couldn't sneak it in behind Andrew Leishon. And just when you said that Dave Bowman probably used up his offensive flair, he found another one.
Apparently, just like the movie Big, Dave Bowen woke up on Tuesday morning and decided he was John Tavares from now on. Certainly being a good offensive threat.
Greenhall would be a much closer comparison to Mr. Tavares. Gets it in. Now Dean tried bouncing one in, but Leishon gets the left foot out there to make the stop. Miyashita slides down outside the St. Catharines bench. We've got 4 players in there, 5 now. Make that 6 as Brown comes in. Kevin Dean has a few words. Now he's got a big left hand. And I'm not sure who he knocked down, but whoever it is has a big smile on his face as a big scrum ensues. Andrew Leishon steps in there. And I believe it was number 6, Curtis Hodgson, who was jogging back and forth with Kevin Dean. Keane decided to knock him out like Rocky.
I get it. I give Hodgson an 8.9 on this.
Oh, it was good.
Oh, wow. You know, Mark Tewksbury is very proud. I know he's a swimmer, but still, he's in the pool, that kind of stuff. And I can't remember the girl's name. Sylvie Frechette. Was she not the...
She's a synchronized
that's
swimmer.
right. Okay, turn the water. We had a good diver, I know we did, but none better than Curtis Hodgson, as he just showed right there, as he was jawing with Kevin Dean. Dean gave him a little love tap in the face, and it was as if 14 machine guns went off simultaneously, knocking Hodgson's riddled body to the ground. Got up with a grin on his face, which means either he was faking it, or he gets great enjoyment out of being punched in the head, knocked to the ground. Either way, that's not right.
Well, the best part of it was when he went down, his helmet popped off, which made it look even better.
Yeah.
But he was laughing. You could see him laughing from all over here.
I mean, he was probably thinking about the helmet, thinking it couldn't get any better. Maybe if my head had fallen off, I might have gotten a 4.
We'll give him an Oscar for that one. So the Burnaby Lakers on the power play now. 6:55 to go in the second period. St. Catharines has a 1-goal lead. Burnaby's special teams have been absolutely horrendous tonight. We'll see if that turns around for them on this power play. Near side. Benning gets it back up high. Olsen far side. Miyashita back to Benning. In close. Plunkett can't get the shot away. Instead dumps it off to Benning. His pass though, a rocket to the far side for Hansen, was intercepted by Flores. And the Lakers will hold on to it. Minute and a half to go on the power play now. Miyashita gets it, fires the shot in. That one's just wide. And the ball hops up into the netting in behind the St. Catharines net, so the A's will take over.
Wanted to mention a hello for the netcasting audience in Burnaby who's paying attention, finally getting to follow some of this game. That's assuming that they have the feed right now, as there's been problems the last couple of days.
Not with our feed.
That we're very happy to bring them.
With another company.
Games 5, 6, and possibly 7 if it goes that far. Don't start.
I'm so tempted. I can guarantee you one thing, Andrew.
Which is?
We won't bring them 3/4 of this game and then cut out for the other quarter.
Okay, now just stop. Be a good boy.
Here's Plunkett, top of the near circle. 55 seconds to go in the power play. Olsen over to Hansen, down low. Olsen gets it back inside the high slot. Now Hansen grabs the rebound. New shot clock for the Lakers. They've got 45 to go in the man advantage. Olsen in tight. Brown can't get the shot away. And then Greg Flores comes leaping in to knock down Kevin Fines, who is parked right along that far post. Fines has some words now for Billy D. Smith and Matt Vince. And the official in there to try to break things up.
I think he's making sure that Fines' helmet is done up and he gets out of the way. But I don't think there's ever been any trash talk that Billy D. Smith didn't like. So Kevin Fines is fighting a losing battle here.
Here's Smith again. Over top of mid-floor. Stops top of the near circle. A's still with 25 seconds to kill off on this penalty. Smith in there trying to knock you loose. Fighting with McKinnon, who again is on one of those rare shifts. He's been good when he's been on the floor. Now we've got a couple of guys jostling, and it's our good old friends, Craig Kahn and Nick Farina. They've had a battle going in this series since game 1.
That's a good sign for Kahn, though, as he knocks Farina's helmet off, and all it is a possession call. I guess at least they figured out what's going on here and what Farina's being sent out to do.
You can only cry wolf so much. Burnaby continues in the power play for just a couple of more seconds. Now Kevin Dean leaps out of the box, and we're back to 5-on-5 with exactly 5 minutes to go in the period. Wild shot comes into the near corner, picked up there by Rory Glades. He'll run it in behind the St. Catharines net and then up the right wing before jumping it off to Mark Steenhouse. Steenhouse again with those trademark red shoes and bright neon orange shirt underneath his jersey. Hard guy to miss. Steenhouse works it far side. Greenhall again coming off the bench, Andrew. And St. Catharines seems to have found a play that, if nothing else, is going to give them a good scoring chance. And that's Sean Greenhall coming off the bench late and having a lot of room to take that shot.
Puts another dimension on the St. Catharines offense, that's for sure.
And that's good coaching, is that? Burnaby right back into the offensive zone, trying to get loose. Is Taylor Ray, and he's taken down hard by Matt Skinner. Now we've got Jay Levesque tied up with Mark Miyashita. Miyashita had Levesque's stick underneath his right arm, wouldn't let go until Levesque gave him a nice little left hand. A's right back into the offensive zone. They've got 18 on the shot clock. Padicia near circle, gets it back to Russell. Russell winds the shot in. Leishon able to get in front of that one and make the stop. Holds on to the rebound and then works it up the near side for Plunkett. Now Nenad Gaich He'll walk it over top of mid-floor. Now he uses a bit of speed to get into the far corner. Drops it off. Olsen winds the shot in. Big save by Matty Vince, and he controlled the rebound. And then he ducks. Oh boy, Pat Russell took the pass from Matt Vince and was absolutely blindsided by Curtis Hodgson. It was a good play because Russell would have gone in all alone, but a devastating hit deep inside the Burnaby end.
The only question here was the timing of it. Obviously, it was a well-timed hit. You can see right here, coming straight at him. Unfortunately, body checking isn't allowed in lacrosse. Oddly enough, we see lots of hits. So there is an interference call coming up against Hodgson. I'm not sure I'd call it interference. It's probably roughing, as Hodgson really had no intent to go anywhere near the ball. Was trying to knock Russell down. Russell didn't see where it was coming from. Hodgson gets 2 minutes for that. And fortunately, Russell bounces right back up, and he's walking around. We can see him. Did a good show of it, running back to the bench like he was normal. Went right back into the dressing room. Probably puked about 7 times. He's outside now getting some air, as we can see through the little hallway. But fortunately, that's not one of those hits that leaves you down for a while.
Andrew, you bring up a very good point. When body checking is not allowed in lacrosse, and for the guy tuning in who's never seen the sport before or isn't familiar with the sport, he'd say, well, wait a minute, we're always hitting each other. But that's one of those instances when it's not allowed. That was flagrant, and he's going to get a penalty for it.
Well, it was a complete run by Hodgson, going straight at Russell as Hodgson came off the bench.
That would be charging in hockey.
And while in hockey, if you timed it properly or the person had the puck and you threw a good check on him, then it's perfect timing. Where it sets up here is basically all your stuff is going to be playing the ball. We're taking a look right here at some of the Six Nations alumni I just had a chance to meet while we were down talking. Some of the guests in the intermission. A lot of the people, especially from Six Nations, made the trip up here tonight for the recognizing the Ontario Lacrosse Hall of Fame members. So nice to see a lot of them making. It's not the easiest of trips, as we learned in the OLA final.
It's a good thing Pat Russell isn't Eric Lindros, or we'd be wiping drool off his chin for the rest of his life. That was a big hit. Remind me of that Scott Stevens hit.
Yeah, I'm imagining that Pat's trying to remember where he lives and what Pat means. Why he's wearing the shirt and his stick.
He's in the power play for the next 135. They move it around nicely. Kahn again on his way in is hammered, but he winds the shot right off the near goalpost. And Craig Kahn can't move anywhere with those 3 or 4 guys draping themselves all over him, but still he manages to get a good shot away. St. Catharines again with the ball. Here's Greenhall, near side, Panicia, 18 on the shot clock. Back to Greenhall, nifty pass, far side, kick shot from Mike Hominick is knocked wide. Now a loose ball up the far side, and it's corralled nicely by Snyder, but he's given a warm reception from a trio of athletics. It's finally knocked away, and then a beautiful play by Mark Steenhouse as Lindsey Plunkett was waiting deep inside the St. Catharines zone. Took a bit too much time to try to grab that ball, and Steenhouse comes leaping in like Superman to steal it away from him. Hayes back into the offensive zone. Still 42 seconds to go in the power play. Loose ball again, picked up by Snyder. He'll head in with Plunkett. Snyder in, takes the shot, but it goes just wide of the near post as Chris Drennan rejoins us for the 2-minute and 3-second warning. Hello, Chris.
Derek?
How you doing?
I was in the other room stretching, just making sure I was limber for my 2-minute warning. Just let it go, Derek, just let it go.
Hayes back into the offensive zone. They've still got 23 seconds to go with the man advantage. Kahn to Greenhall, winds a bullet in, but it was over top of the Burnaby net. St. Catharines, though, gets the rebound. Hominick back up high to Greenhall, takes the shot, but Andrew Lachon has been good here in period number 2, and he makes the save. St. Catharines gets it back again. Here's Panicia trying to let a low knuckleball go, but that was knocked away. Finally, Gwindon able to grab it for the Lakers and move it back out of harm's way. Now Scott gives it away. Kahn steals, heads in. Kahn takes the shot. Score! Oh my God! What a play by Craig Kahn! He stole it away and then picked the corner, and the A's have a 4-2 lead. Woo! Wow! What a goal!
Well, definitely, Derek. As you can see here on the replay, Craig Kahn strips the ball picks that top corner. And I was going to mention when I got a chance that the Athletics, they have to stop relying on the outside shots. It seems that Leishon's starting to pick them up a little better. As Craig Kahn proves, you gotta mix it up. You gotta have a little bit of variety. Variety is the spice of life, as Craig Kahn proves.
An amazing effort by Kahn, but we've got an injured Athletic down. It's Rory Glaves, and what a loss that would be. Glaves has been one of those terrific role players on defense for St. Catharines so far in this series, and Chris, this does not look good. Rory is in a considerable amount of pain.
Oh, definitely, and I mean, having known Rory over the past few years, he would not be down on the floor if he wasn't injured. I mean, if it's a little bump or bruise, he'd be right back up. But this does look a little serious. I mean, and as you said, a great role player, Rory Glaves. He goes out there every shift, does what he has to do, gets the job done, and gets right off, which is exactly what the Athletics are looking for out of him.
Chris, we're going to hope this is a cramp because they're working on the back of Rory's right knee. It's possible that there's a cramp in there, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed that that's the situation because Glaves is in a terrible amount of pain. You can see by the way he's breathing. The captain, Dan Bowman, now stepping in to help out, as does Pat Russell and John Donnelly, and they're going to have to carry Rory off the floor with 1:10 to go in the period. And we're going to take another look at what happened here, try to pick out how Rory got hurt. Maybe we can roll that back one more time. There was a couple of Lakers there, and then Rory went down immediately after contact with them. We're going to try to see if maybe a stick catches his knee. There's a big scrum right in the circle there. Well, Rory tied up. Watch this. This is where it happens right here. And my guess is that... Oh, well, geez. That was an awful slash by Jeff Snyder. There was definitely intent to injure on that play. Rory Glaves had his back turned to Jeff Snyder. Snyder turned and tried to chop him down. We've seen some very, very unsportsmanlike plays from Jeff Snyder in this series, Chris. That was just terrible.
Oh, definitely. I've seen questionable plays on both sides, but I mean, that is just awful. Rory Glaves, a linchpin of the Athletics defense, and for Snyder to go after him like that is, in my opinion, gutless and disgusting. And, well, I mean, the only thing we can hope for is that, karma, works its magic on Jeff Snyder.
And there was no ball there. The ball was
that's
already
the
back
thing.
into the Burnaby end, so...
That's the thing. The ball was well away from the play when it happened, and it's not a nice play to see anytime.
Just kind of takes the wind out of you because...
Oh, definitely.
It's such a great game so far, and you just hate to see something like that, but we'll hope Rory Glaves is okay. Quick shot in, and Burnaby able to get one by Matt Vince with under a minute to go here in the second period, but at this point, our concern is with the status of Rory Glaves.
Definitely, as we're going to take a look at the replay here. See the Burnaby player cuts in, and Burnaby seems to be mimicking St. Catharines' offense a little bit. Burnaby taking shots from the outside, as you see Plunkett, gets it in low and lets it go just underneath Matt Vince.
So with 55 seconds to go here in the second period, Burnaby within one goal, 4-3 is the score. Derek Wills alongside Chris Drennan and Andrew McKay for the call, live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. Up along the far boards, Snyder in there again. Burnaby will control it, 40 seconds to go in the period. Here's Lindsey Plunkett, bottom of the near circle. Lakers with 20 on the shot clock. Lindsey Plunkett winds it in, gets his own rebound, takes the shot, but it was wide of the near post. Pat Russell now able to come up with a loose ball. He'll walk it ahead just outside the St. Catharines bench. Drops it off to Sean Greenhall. 20 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Hayes will play for the final shot of period number 2. Greenhall will take a timeout by the looks of things, and indeed he does. And with 13 seconds to go in the second period, St. Catharines will talk this one over.
Well, definitely. And if you're Les Bartley down there having a word with the Athletics, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to either try and get the ball in as low as you can and try and get it by Leishon, or you're going to take a risk and you're going to give the ball to Sean Greenhall up top, and he's going to let it fly with under 4 seconds to go, which is not the play I'd choose. I'd try and work it in and try and get a close shot in on LeSean. As we saw with Craig Kahn, LeSean can be beat over the shoulder. You just have to get him moving.
13 seconds to go in the period. If you're just joining us, St. Catharines fell behind, but came back and took the 4-2 lead. Burnaby, though, has scored a late goal here in the second to narrow the St. Catharines advantage to 1. And again, another one of these games, Chris, not a lot of scoring, and that speaks well for both teams' goaltenders and both teams' defense.
Well, definitely. I mean, lacrosse is a game synonymous for scoring. I mean, it's not unusual to hear scores of 9-8, or even up into the teens. But both of these teams are defensive-minded. They think defense first. Don Smith lives by his defense, and that's what he tells these guys. That's what he instructs these guys. And same with Burnaby. Offense will take care of itself, but defense is first.
Athletics, 10 seconds on the game clock. Mike Hominick holding on, keeping an eye up on the scoreboard, high above the floor here at the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena. Now they've got 1 second, but they're not going to have enough time to get the shot away. And the score through 40 minutes. And game number 5, the St. Catharines Junior A Athletics lead the Burnaby Lakers 4-3.
Well, definitely an interesting second period. Burnaby was able to dictate the play for most of the period, but the Athletics still come out with a 4-3 lead, which speaks highly of their ability to come back. Speaks very highly of the fact that they realize that this is their show. It's in their town. This is their series. Chris, go out there and win it.
The third period coming up is arguably the most important period of this series. Here are the reasons. If Burnaby can manage to mount a comeback, number one, that's going to give them momentum heading into game number 6. Obviously, they need some momentum because St. Catharines has it all right now. But if St. Catharines can hold onto the lead or extend that lead, all of a sudden, that momentum St. Catharines has built up through games 3 and 4 is just going to increase. And it's going to be near impossible for Burnaby to steal that back tomorrow night.
Oh, definitely. A win by St. Catharines here would, just add to their confidence. And, it's like trying to stop an avalanche, really. Burnaby would have to stand in front of that tomorrow night. And I think it would be next to impossible for Burnaby to, stop, an athletics team with momentum, confidence, and, just an all-around determination to get the job done Friday night and go out and take Labor Day weekend to celebrate.
Be sure to stay with us for our second intermission. We'll try to get you an update on the status of Rory Glaze. Of course, he was taken down on a very vicious slash by Jeff Snyder. We're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope he's okay. But before that, we're going to head down to the floor and join Andrew McKay.
Thanks, guys. We're joined now by Lee Vitarelli from the Peterborough Lakers Junior A organization, also one of the organizers for the Minto Cup. Lee, we're looking at close to a full house tonight. Finally, the crowds are starting to pick up. How's the organization going, and how's the planning going for this year's Minto?
I think it's gone very well. The games have been exciting. The group of volunteers put together by the St. Catharines team down here to help with this tournament just been exceptional. And I think the people are starting to respond, and they're here tonight. That's obvious.
And I think another big thing that's happened is we've had some very close games, tonight's tight lacrosse. So somebody thought they may be coming down for one game is going to come back for 2 or 3 more after seeing the quality of play that we're getting.
Oh no, this tournament, the teams are very evenly matched. And the low-scoring games, it's not a bad game. They're very, very well-executed games. Excellent goaltending, both teams.
Now, we were talking to Tom Suckamore after the first period, obviously speaking about Hall of Fame night. And you and I were just chatting about how important it is that you've got the Lacrosse Hall of Fame here in St. Catharines. Now you're hosting the National Championship as well. To really give a profile on how important lacrosse is to this community.
St. Catharines is one of the oldest communities that has a history of box lacrosse in the province. The Hall of Fame here serves this area very well. If people haven't had a chance to go to the Lock 19 complex, see the trophy cases, see the history of the game, they've missed something. It's the same as this tournament. Anybody in this area should come and catch a Minto Cup game.
Well, good. Thank you very much.
Have
fun the rest of the way. Enjoy it.
Enjoy the game.
We'll be right back right after this. 4-3 St. Catharines after 2.
Show me the monkey! Check that monkey!
Stu Miley is the creator.
The man behind the monkey.
Monkey Bone is his creation.
I love your ways.
Stu was about to have it all until it all came crashing down. From the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hello? Am I dead?
Hiya, boss. Comes the story of a man whose imagination brought a monkey to life.
This is living.
Hey! Get your fat butt out of my face. And a monkey.
We've got big plans for that body of yours.
Who wanted a life of his own.
Stu?
Whoa, baby!
If it screams. If it swings.
Ooga, ooga, da, 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 da!
It's got to be
Drinks for everybody.
Monkey Bone. Brendan Fraser, Bridget Fonda.
The woman I love is living with a little monkey that looks like me.
Dive, dive, dive! Ow!
What a lucky girl.
Joined now by Dean McLeod, Commissioner of the Ontario Junior A League, a member of the Canadian and Ontario Lacrosse Halls of Fame, most importantly, a member of the Brampton Sports Hall of Fame. But as your position as an Ontario Lacrosse Association representative tonight, St. Catharines is putting on a pretty good show representing the Ontario League.
Yes, they are, Andrew. Actually, not just the team in the floor, but the team off the floor to make this happen, along with the governors of my league. But as far as the athletics are concerned, they're our provincial champions. It's not as high a scoring series as I'd like to see, but I will say one thing. I don't think I've ever seen a team as defensively oriented, backed up by outstanding goaltending as this team is, and the scores reflect that.
They're certainly putting on a good show. So now we are almost through game 5, and you're thinking you're getting down to the crunch time. But really, for you and the other organizers in the Ontario Junior A League, it's really planning about next year already, isn't it, in terms of sending the team out west and making sure all those logistics are taken care of?
Yes, that's absolutely right. I don't know whether you've been there before, Andrew, with the team, but I know I've been there 15 times or 16 times, and the funds that we raise here are going to be directly resulting in the funds that are going to be spent on sending our champion out west. Lion's share of the expenses are paid by the host transportation. I mean, when you get to Vancouver, hotels, so on and so forth. But the airfare, it's very, very expensive. As the Brampton seniors are now finding out that it's about near $700 bill to send one player to Vancouver, and you need about 40 or 45 tickets. So you can see the cost of it. And the fan response for this tournament, there's the best crowd we've got tonight. Tomorrow night, we hope that it'll be higher, and I just want everybody to know that we appreciate the fans coming out to support our national sport and to support our provincial champion on the quest for a national championship.
I hope it goes well the rest of the way, and the planning for next year goes well as well. As not so much of a purist, I actually like the defense and the goaltending, but I think no matter what you like, we're seeing some pretty darn good lacrosse this series. Hopefully it continues. Thanks again for joining us, Dean.
Thank you, Andrew. My pleasure.
4-3 for St. Catharines after 2 periods. We'll be right back with the 3rd period of Game 5 of the 2001 Minto Cup right after this.
Well, why would you name your bar after someone like that? Oh, because Cheers was taken.
You're unbelievable.
This is where it all begins. This is the epicenter of the Blair Witch Hunt website. You know, if you don't believe in the Blair Witch, then why the hell did you bother to come?
I thought the movie was cool. Stories like this happen because they exist in a place of truth.
A brutal murder in the Black Hills discovered today.
All we're trying to do is put together the pieces of what happened last night. What the hell was that? We brought something back with us. You're all gonna die. Something happened to us in the woods.
It was an accident.
Something evil.
And welcome back to the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena in St. Catharines. The score through 40 minutes in game number 5. The A's lead the Lakers 4-3. Derek Wills alongside Chris Drennan and Andrew McKay for the call, live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. And Chris, let's look back to an incident late in period number 2. Rory Glaves, one of the guys on the St. Catharines defense that is an anchor, he's a leader, was taken down on a vicious slash by Jeff Snyder, and it really takes a lot away from a game that's been as good as this one has.
Oh, definitely. I was down in the athletics locker room. Didn't get a chance to speak with Rory, but as it stands right now, it's not looking like he'll be back. This is a blow for the St. Catharines defense. Rory is an amazing player, great all-around guy, and to see him out in this game, you know, it's not good. It actually, pardon my language, but it really sucks to see Rory Glaves out. So, but on the positive side, St. Catharines has enough defensive players to step it up, to put someone in his place, and, you know, hope for the best. St. Catharines has been playing amazing up to this point, and I think they will keep it up and probably even pick it up a notch.
The most unfortunate thing about the situation isn't the fact that Rory got hurt. You're playing in a very rough and tumble sport. Players are going to get hurt. Look at Mike Longboat. I'm sure he'd love to be involved in this game. He's not 100%. So he's been on the bench or he's been in the stands, as the coaches have decided you can't put a guy into a series who's not 100%, especially against the Western champion Burnaby Lakers. Now, Rory Glaves, his injury wasn't haphazard. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't from him being careless, or it wasn't just by chance that he got injured. He got injured on a play that was dirty, and in my estimation as a sports broadcaster and a sports fan, the worst thing an athlete can be labeled by his peers, by his opponents, by his teammates is a dirty player. And if it happens once, you kind of cut the guy a little bit of slack. If it happens twice, then I think you can label someone a dirty player.
Oh, definitely. And I think what Snyder did was very much dirty. He made a deliberate motion going for Glaves' leg. And, I mean, it showed up on the replay. Now, my question is, you know, what are St. Catharines going to do to retaliate for this? Are they going to go after Snyder? I hope not. It's not something you want to see. I mean, retaliation like that is not something you want to see. But, I mean, you know, the gauntlet has been thrown down by Snyder. He has, you know, essentially issued a challenge.
Chris, just to finish off that thought, I spoke to a few of the Athletics in between periods. They didn't see what happened, so I'm not sure we'll see a retaliation here unless they got word from someone who is watching television. Third period action, though, is underway. 19:40 to go. St. Catharines leading 4-3. Derek Wills alongside. Now Andrew McKay and Chris Drennan for the call, live on Cogeco TV 10. St. Catharines, the home team tonight, wearing the white jerseys. They will move from left to right on your television set here in period number 3. Burnaby, the road team tonight, wearing the green jerseys, will move from right to left. And Andrew, it's going to be a great finish to game number 5, and as Chris and I talked about, could be the most important period of this series.
Well, I think definitely for Burnaby. Certainly, I don't think St. Catharines would be totally crestfallen if this were to go awry. But for Burnaby to come out as strong as they did offensively and seem to have those opportunities in the first period and not take advantage of them, could really hurt them if they go into a must-win situation tomorrow night.
Nice job there by the captain, Miyashita. Gets it over top of mid-floor. Burnaby, though, looking to make some changes. Gwendon will carry up the far side. 20 on the shot clock. Gwendon stops inside the circle, looking for a lane, looking for a man, looking for something. Try to get around Skinner, cuts to the net, takes the shot. But his foot was in the crease, so St. Catharines will take over.
Kind of a lackadaisical defensive effort there by Burnaby, or by St. Catharines, to not keep him from getting in that close to the net. Fortunately, Gwendon tried to carry it a bit too far and just kept going right through the crease.
Here's Craig Kahn spinning around. He fires the shot. I am not sure if that shot caught a part of the near goal post. It certainly took a weird hop beside that Burnaby net. Craig Kahn, though, he's not got much room out there, but he's taking advantage anytime he gets even a little bit of a whisper of daylight towards that Burnaby goal. Lakers right back into the offensive zone. They've got 12 on the shot clock. Here's Deitch, shoots, and he scores! Nenad Deitch with a quick move low in the slot, and he's tied this game at 4.
A very important goal there for Burnaby, a minute and 44 seconds into the third period. After carrying the lead through the first period, only to see St. Catharines come back, and then St. Catharines grabbed the lead. They've got their first lead since about the 12-minute or 13-minute point of the first period here. Give them some confidence, get back on even terms. However, it's not as deflating as you'd think, because this really hasn't been a dominating performance that you've fought back from on either side. So this just sets the tone for a good solid 18 minutes of lacrosse.
We'll see if St. Catharines responds as they have throughout the night, Andrew. Loose ball up the near side, being chased up the right wing by Dan Bowman. He picks it up, spins back up high, and then drops it off to Jamie Flores. 18 minutes exactly now to go here in the third period. St. Catharines had the 4-3 lead through 40 minutes, but Burnaby with a quick goal here in period number 3 have tied the game at 4. Here's Mark Padicia, far circle, looking for a lane to the net, spins around, got so much speed, instead works it up high, Mike Hominick. Hominick winds the shot in, and Andrew Lachon did not even flinch on that one. If Hominick could have got it on net, he probably would have scored.
Yeah, you'd think so, but just checking out the shot clock situation there. But
Lakers right back in, and again, it's Gary Binning. He's taken down. Burnaby holds on. Binning so much speed, gets it in front, and Ray fires it off the near goalpost. Oh my, we've got goalposts all over the place. Here's Binning again. Lakers have a new shot clock. Gary Binning has 2 goals. He's been the story so far for Burnaby. Quick shot in by Taylor Ray. That bounced just wide of the far post. St. Catharines having their problems here early in period number 3. Finally, John Donnelly able to pick up that loose ball. He'll fire it ahead up the left wing for Craig Kahn. St. Catharines making some wholesale changes. 16:55 to go in the third period. Now Jamie Flores gets it back to Greenhall. Greenhall tried hitting Kahn, but his stick was knocked down. So a loose ball comes in behind the Burnaby goal, and it's picked up easily by Andrew Lachon. Lakers moving up the near side. Here's Nick Farina. Gets it ahead. Mark Miashinoff chugs deep into St. Catharines territory. Drops it off. Here's Nate Adgeich again. Looking for his second of the period. This time his shot's deflected wide. Loose ball up the far boards. Picked up by Jamie Flores. 3 guys on him trying to knock it loose. Finally they do. There's Lindsey Plunkett. Can't pick it up. Has Dave Bowman on him. Instead, Miashinoff does. And then drops it off to Hansen before heading to the bench for a change. Now 16:10 to go in the period. Hayes look a bit spooked on defense here, Andrew.
Well, one thing that's going on here is Burnaby's getting up the floor faster than St. Catharines can get their defensive players on, so Burnaby's getting a lot closer than they were in the second period, which kind of gets that whole tide rolling.
St. Catharines has better speed. They need to use that in your transition game. And Kahn shoots, and he scores! Craig Kahn again, parked along the far side of the crease, finds some room in behind Andrew Lachon, and talk about speed. What speed by Kahn, and the A's again jump out in front, 5-4.
The old Harlem Globetrotters play as Steenhouse shoots, ball goes wide off the side. Kahn comes in over on the right, throws it past, and you can see Lachon trying to figure out where the ball is. The ball bounces off the boards like the tip drill that the Globetrotters use, where they all go back in, throwing it off the backboard. Ball goes off the backboards behind Lachon, bounces out, Kahn picks it up. Lachon's turning around like he's auditioning for a grade 8 dance contest, and Kahn picks it up, puts it into the net.
Andrew is the expert on grade 8 dance contests.
I lost every single one I ever entered, including the ones I held at my house and nobody else was invited.
What was so good about that play, Andrew, is the speed in which it took place. I turned my head to the left for a split second. I looked to the right, and Craig Kahn had the ball, and he fired it in behind Andrew Lachon. It was such a quick reaction by Kahn after that rebound came off the end boards. That's what caused that goal.
Well, as we've mentioned about Sean Greenhall and how he can score from the outside, and he's great on ball possession. One of Craig Kahn's biggest strengths is he's got a very quick stick when the ball's bouncing around. He's good on picking up loose balls in front of the net or loose balls coming off the boards. He sees where the ball is, and within a split second he's got it in his stick, and it's what he did there. For most people, that ball would have flung by them before they had a chance to get their stick on it. Kahn picks it up. You got a 1-goal lead for St. Catharines, right back again.
Andrew, if you're the Burnaby Lakers, you must be thinking, geez Louise, we come back, we tie it, and they take the lead on us again. We mentioned that more than a Laker. They were like the Titanic in the intro, and they keep sealing up these holes, and St. Catharines keeps taking a little iceberg and poking it right back in there.
Well, Panicia thought he had a hole there, and that was filled rather quickly. But no, that's true. St. Catharines is really rotating their offense around and trying different things. And just as Burnaby thinks they have one play shut down, sometimes it's a good play, and sometimes it's a bit of a fluke like that one was, where the ball ended up in the right place at the right time.
Here's Gary Benning again. 15 on the clock, gets it into the low slot. Jeff Snyder's got it. He'll spin in behind the St. Catharines goal. We've got an injured player down for the Lakers. It's number 5, Kevin Hansen. He'll head off to the bench under his own power, and St. Catharines will take over. 5 minutes and 6 seconds have gone by here in the third period. St. Catharines had the 4-3 lead. Burnaby tied it up, but the A's have come right back and regained the lead 5-4. Injured player now on the St. Catharines bench. It's the captain, Dan Bowman. We'll keep a close eye on a couple of injuries during that last play. Hit shot in, and it bounces right through Andrew Lachon's legs. Nearly fell in behind him, and again, the Burnaby goaltender seemingly has a horseshoe in his back pocket today.
Doing a very good job of stopping the ball, a very bad job of figuring out where it went after it touches him.
Here's Olsen. Lakers have 14 on the shot clock. Spins around, bottom of the near circle. Now fires it far side. Benning can't handle the pass. Gets it back, though. Takes it into the corner. Just 5 on the shot clock. Barry Benning uses his speed to cut out in front, but that shot way wide. I don't think he got a very good view of the St. Catharines net. He had a stick up in his face.
It's a couple of players, Brown and Bowman, tied up on the side there, but now that many sticks in front of you, and as we mentioned, Benning not the tallest guy on the floor. It's going to be awful hard to hit the net from there.
Quick rush again, back down the floor by the A's. Here's Mark Steenhouse. House himself up along the far circle, winds a hard shot in. Lachon able to make the stop, but again, he juggles the rebound a bit before firing it down into the near corner. Taylor Ray couldn't handle it. Vince wandering outside of his net, couldn't stop it. Ray still chasing it down, and there's Rory Glaves. Rory Glaves has come back into the game. He has his right knee bandaged. He's got some support on there, but he gets a nice welcome from the guys from the St. Catharines bench, and boy, is that great news. That makes my day to see Rory Glaves come back into this game.
Well, I wasn't sure if you'd mentioned it before. I noticed at the beginning of the period he was right back there on the bench. And the question, I mean, it's going to be a horrible injury. He wouldn't be there, but whether he could be there for moral support. But it's good to know that he's getting back on the floor, too.
Here's Hominick trying to cut in, and again, going for that favorite spot of his up along that near post, up high over top of the goaltender's shoulder. Now Nick Lachon. And I don't know about this one, Andrew. I'm not buying it.
Well, I am. Hominick made it look like he was trying to run harmlessly by and gave Lachon a little bit of a knee. You can see what Hominick does here. As he comes in, he tries to put the move on Hodgson, I believe. Now he comes in, takes the shot, and now, oops, look at that. I'm still there, although it looks like I'm running by. So there's a bit of a collision. While Lachon came out to meet him. Well, he came out to meet him. You can't forget the part where Hominick did run 3 feet inside the crease, which is totally not allowed. He did have lots of time to stop there. It's not like he was going 90 miles an hour. So while I'm not putting any blame on Mike Hominick, it's certainly not a collision that he couldn't have avoided, to put it nicely.
A lot of things Burnaby could have avoided in this game that they haven't, so if that's as harmful as St. Catharines gets in retaliation, then we should have a nice calm finish to the evening. Here come the Lakers again. Fine diving in front of the goal to take the shot. Now we've got a loose ball. Here's Smith. Nobody's going to catch Smith. Takes the shot. Just missed the near goal post. Another defensive breakdown by the Burnaby Lakers. And if Billy D. Smith gets away on you, you might as well stop running because you're not going to catch him.
One day he's going to learn how to score on most of these breakaways, and he's going to be a very valuable offensive threat, not only in this league, but to an NLL team as well as that comes along. Right now, his breakaway speed, probably the best in the league.
Here's Craig Kahn, trying to spin loose. Again, he's got an arm underneath his chin. That makes it difficult to get away.
Now, it's odd, is we mentioned all the holding that was going on in the first couple of games, and it was being called. It's not being called tonight, the same infractions, but then little interference calls against the boards are going.
Quick pass in front, Kahn to Greenhall, but he can't convert on that beautiful fade from in behind the Burnaby net from Craig Kahn. A's, though, get the ball back. They've got 25 on the shot clock. Here's Greenhall.
He's using a bit of speed now, drops it off. Kahn fakes once, heads in on the low shot, takes the shot, but it bounced just wide. Rebound for the Lakers. They'll carry it quickly back down the floor. Here's Snyder. He's pushed out of the way by Jamie Flores. And now Hodgson double teamed in the low slot. A couple of A's converge on him, but we're going to have a face-off deep inside. No, St. Catharines will take over. Hodgson walking over to the near boards to retrieve his helmet. And oh boy, did he get a rude awakening as he stepped into that St. Catharines slot.
Rory Glaves is welcoming him back to the action as you see, he just gets crunched there. Now look what he does with his head here, as you can see. He looks up for the referee there. Then he goes down, grabs his head, looks on the other side to see if the other referee caught it. And they're both thinking, clean hit, you went in the middle.
I'll tell you what, Rory Glaves and Dave Bowman, two guys you don't want to get caught in between.
Yeah, nice timing by them too. And unlike the hit on Russell earlier, which Hodgson pulled off, they were both actually looking for the ball and just happened to collide with the guy who had it.
Luggage pass for Olsen doesn't work, and Andrew, after a couple of good games to start off the series, Kevin Olsen, who was one of our key guys for the Lakers, if they were to be successful in the 2001 Minto Cup, has pretty much disappeared. He hasn't done the basics well.
Well, he's still getting his points, but they're not the important points. Where he was getting very key, and Lindsey Plunkett as well, although Plunkett had a better game on Tuesday night. He was getting the key goals and the key points, and now they're kind of the second assist that don't really show up much.
Here's Mark Steenhouse into the far corner. 10:50 now to go in the third period. A's have a 5-4 lead. Derek Mills alongside Andrew McKay and Chris Drennan for the call live on Cogeco TV 10 Niagara. Here's Kahn with it again. Walks into the far circle, winds a little low shot in, but it bounces off a leg or two and up along the near half boards. Greenhall able to dig it out. Greenhall stripped to the ball on his way into the low slot. Jeff Snyder able to pick up that loose ball. He'll rag it around the Burnaby end for a while before getting it ahead over center for Nenad Gaich. Gaich trying to get around Levesque. That's a lofty proposition. Does do it though. Now passes it along the far boards. Gwindon trying to get away from Matt Skinner. Was held up. Gwindon dives in front to take the shot. Rebound right to Lindsey Plunkett. Now Snyder gets the loose ball up along the far side. 3 on the shot clock. We've got Gwindon's helmet popping off, and we've got the shot clock expiring on Burnaby, with St. Catharines taking over, but a dangerous possession by the Lakers.
To put it nicely, we'll give Matt Skinner 2 points for initiative, as he noticed Gwindon's helmet was loose, put his hand on the back of his head, popped it up, making Gwindon leave the area, as you can't play without your helmet on, and Gwindon had to vacate the front of the net, so that takes one player out of the play. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, that's huge.
Greenhall drops it off near side. A's have 10 on the shot clock now. Here's Panicia trying to cut in. He's stripped of the ball. Rebound to Flores. Just 4 on the shot clock. Flores to Kahn. Kahn sneaks in, takes the shot. And again, Andrew Leishon has no idea where that ball is after it comes out of the stick of Craig Kahn. And this will prove to be dangerous, if not on that shot, later in the night or in Game 6. Leishon has to get a better idea of where that ball is.
He can feel it hit him, but he's not controlling it very well.
He's been lucky twice tonight when the ball's come out of his equipment and nearly rolled into the net. Now Bidding again, trying to use that speed. He's mauled down to the floor by Donnelly and Skinner, and the Burnaby Lakers would be well advised not to start a fight with this 5-man unit. We've got Jay Levesque, Billy D. Smith, Matt Skinner, Dave Bowman, and John Donnelly, and those guys aren't going to back down, Andrew. We know that much.
No, and especially when you've got your top offensive unit out there as well, you don't want to be getting tied up, because even the coincidental minors playing the St. Catharines favor there, they can keep throwing guys like Pat Russell or even Dan Bowman out the back door, and you can fill in those holes on defense, but you lose a guy like Kevin Olsen, who is involved, or Jeff Snyder as well, for 2 minutes and only 9 minutes left. It's really not a risk you can afford to take.
We'd like to remind everybody to tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We'll have live coverage of game number 6 of this 2001 Minto Cup. The only question left to be answered, will St. Catharines or Burnaby have a chance to wrap up the national title?
Or are we going to have a repeat tonight of Friday's game 1, in which case we'll be playing the 19th overtime when you turn in at 8 o'clock. In which case, if you do tune in at 8 o'clock tomorrow night and this game is still going on, can somebody please call my office and let them know I won't be in?
Quick shot. That bounces wide. Rebound, though, right back to the Lakers. They've got 22 on the shot clock. Finds
Gets it to the far side. Here's Lindsey Plunkett. They need a goal from one of their big guns here to try to tie this one up. 8:45 is the time remaining here in the third period. Lakers trailing by 1. Here's Olsen. He gets hammered by a trio of St. Catharines Athletics on his way into the low slot. Plunkett, though, grabs the ball. He's stripped of it by Dave Bowman, and Matt Vince will pick it up and fire it down the floor. Here's Steenhouse, has Homenuk. Steenhouse, though, smartly retreats back to the top of the far circle. Now 8:20 to go in the period. He'll drop it off. Pat Russell, now up high, Mark Paniccia. Paniccia near side for Homenuk. Hayes trying to set a bit of a pick for Homenuk, who works his way in, takes the shot, but this time it's right into the chest of Andrew Leishon, and the Lakers will easily move it back down the floor. There's Nenad Gaich. Scored a big goal earlier on tonight. We'll see if he can make it 2 on the evening. Drops it off. Now Jeff Snyder again. Makes a couple of nice moves, cuts in, takes the shot, but his foot was obviously in the crease, and Snyder now limping a bit on his way to the bench, so St. Catharines will give it to Matt Vince and let him control the breakout. Here's Sean Greenhall. 7:45 to go in the third period. St. Catharines 5, Burnaby 4. Up along the near half boards. Greenhall back to Dean, now back to Greenhall. Lines the shot in, oh my! That one got right by Andrew Leishon, but did not get into the Burnaby net. Here's Tim Ham now. Fakes the shot, gets it back to Kahn, takes the shot. Not easy save for Leishon. Rebound back up along the far boards. Greenhall digs it loose. Here come the A's again with a new shot clock. Greenhall gets it near side for Dean. Lakers being very patient with this possession. We're going to work the clock a little bit here. Greenhall gets it in. Dean takes the shot. But a big save by Leishon as he got the left hand up there to knock it away. Back up to mid-floor. Here's McKinnon. He'll wait for some teammates to come on after the Burnaby line change and then head off himself. Here's Lindsey Plunkett up along the far boards. Has Gary Binning heading towards that far corner. Gets the pass to him. Binning looking for some room. Cuts in front. Into the slot. Has a lane. Fired the shot in. That was way wide. Now another loose ball. Willie D. Smith just missed it, but Binning has to just float one in as the shot clock expires.
Great job by St. Catharines reestablishing that defense there, forcing Binning to kind of shoot wildly. Really no quality chances there at Matt Vince. Kill the shot clock. You can do that with less than 7 minutes left in the third period. You're in good position.
Homenuk gets it back up high for Russell. Now Paniccia far side. Russell patiently gets it over to Homenuk, top of the near circle. Homenuk fakes the shot, has a lane, spins. That lane closed up very quickly on him though, so he held back to the near circle. Just 2 on the shot clock. Homenuk very content to just dump it into the near corner. And Andrew, what this shows me is that Les Bartley, Don Smith, and Steve Fennell have tremendous confidence in their defense. They don't think they need another goal.
Well, I think they'd like to get one. It would be a killer, but I think they're very happy with the way their defense has played in now the last 3 games.
Here's Kevin Fines trying to sneak in, but he's got to carry Donnelly on his back. Fines is a big guy, but he's not a horse. Penalty coming up against St. Catharines. Leishon heads slowly to the bench, and that will not affect the play, but St. Catharines will head to the penalty box with 5.5 minutes to go in the third period, and this is a huge power play coming up for the Burnaby Lakers. But if we look back to their man advantage situations earlier tonight, they have not been good. As a matter of fact, they've been terrible on special teams.
Regardless, this is, and to be quite frank, an absolutely brutal call. For what hasn't been called here in the third period, with players get taken down and getting their helmets ripped off and the like, for John Donnelly, you can see what's going on here. John Donnelly does come up on the guy from behind. You can see right here, though, they're still running. They're both kind of heading down towards together. And for the kind of stuff they're letting these two teams get away with in front of the net. You can see Craig Collins getting clotheslined every time he goes in front of the net. Lindsey Plunkett getting mauled when he goes towards St. Catharines net. That's the weakest of the plays that we've seen in front of the net. And to make that call with 5.5 minutes left, after you just let these guys play for 14.5 minutes, it's just off base.
Andrew, if you hold on a sec, I'm going to take my shoes and socks off so that I can use my toes to count how many times Craig Kahn has been ridden like a rodeo bull into the net like that tonight. Absolutely ridiculous. They won't call it on Kahn, but they'll make a call like that with 5.5 minutes to go in the third period of Game 5 in a one-goal game. Come on.
I think this is one of those situations where when you're more familiar with the players on St. Catharines, like Donnelly, who are the more penalty prone, you're kind of watching out and you see that it's him and you make the call, but that's a totally inappropriate call for this stage of the game.
Bottom line is, Burnaby has a power play for the next 143. We'll see if they can take advantage. If they do, certainly some controversy will set in following this one. Loose ball up the near side. Here's Miyashita. Just 8 on the shot clock. The captain gets it up to the high slot. Now Kevin Olsen's got it. 4 on the shot clock. Miyashita being held up by Flores. Gets a quick shot away, but not a lot of juice on that one. And St. Catharines doing a great job so far on the penalty kill.
Bill Fox blew this one because Rory Glave's foot never left the crease. His right foot was in the crease the entire time. Bill Fox calls it from the other side of the crease through a couple of guys. I like Bill, I get along with him, but that's a horrible call too. His foot never left the crease there. Bill Fox turns this one over. When you're trying to kill a penalty off here, you got to be sure of those calls when you make them, not just assume that he stepped out and stepped back in.
So some questionable officiating here in Game 5, and I thought the officials, until this point, have done a pretty good job, although apparently they have received some criticism. I've been one of their supporters, not so far here in Game 5, though.
Well, this last couple of minutes looks like, and I'm not going to say that they're building a mountain for St. Catharines to climb, because I don't think that at all. However, St. Catharines getting some momentum going here and reestablishing some offense, playing some very solid defense. But it's kind of tough when you're getting called on very marginal things as well.
Burnaby with possession. They've got a new shot clock. 1:15 to go in the power play. Olsen near side Miyashita. Now down low. Hansen can't get the pass over to Binning. Athletics intercept. Burnaby fighting hard to try to get that loose ball, but they can't. Jamie Flores has it. Works it up to Mark Steenhouse right off the St. Catharines bench. Now 1 minute to go in the St. Catharines penalty. Here's Steenhouse, far side. The master of the penalty kill has the ball. We'll see what exciting play he can come up with here. He's very creative, short-handed. Now we've got a loose helmet, and it's Nick Farinas. He's able to retrieve it. Mike Hominick's got the ball up along the near boards. Now 40 seconds to go in the St. Catharines penalty. Greenhall steals, has a lane. Here's Greenhall, takes the shot, but a huge save by Andrew Leishon, who again was left all by himself by that Burnaby defense.
I can see Greenhall wanted to get that goal there to put them away, but with Leishon in position, he might have been better advised to just run by the crease and kill off the rest of his penalties. 17 seconds still remaining.
There's Miyashita, 11 on the shot clock for the Lakers, up high to Olsen. 11 on the shot, they shoot, they score! And we talked about Kevin Olsen needing to get a big goal. Well, he's got one with 3:38 to go in regulation time. Olsen ties the game at 5.
Huge shot from the point there. I think there's a couple of players out in front. You see Doherty Smith standing on top of the crease. Olsen just wires it through. Matt Vince tries to drop down to his usual butterfly style. Can't quite get there in time. Ties this game up 5-5, and not a situation that St. Catharines wanted. As I mentioned, they had some momentum going. It got taken away from them a bit, and really not through their own doing, considering the flow of the game. And now they got 3 minutes and 38 seconds left here in this period. And I think they'd like to get this goal and put this one away here. They don't want to send this to another overtime, because you don't want to bring up the memories of what happened before, and you'd like to come right back and stuff this down Burnaby's throats.
And again, we go back to that questionable penalty call, and you don't like to blame the officials for a win or a loss, but that was definitely a questionable call at an important time in the game, and Burnaby will give them credit. They took advantage of the situation, and they've earned a 5-5 tie.
Well, the important part is, I talked to John Hearn, who's the league director of officiating last weekend, and he said the rule is the first 5 minutes are for the players to establish what kind of game they want to play, and the rest are for the referees to call that game. So then with 5 minutes left, to call something that you've let go the entire game probably screws up the flow of everything.
3.5 minutes down to play in regulation time, and one thing we do know is we're in for one whale of a finish here in game number 5, live from the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena in St. Catharines. Greenhall gets it up along the near half boards. Here's Kevin Dean, stakes into the high slot. A's have 11 on the shot clock. Now Tim Ham up high, winds the shot in, but it was a bit of a wild one, and Burnaby will take over. Here's Hodgson. Gets it ahead, just over top of mid-floor. Now Nenad Gaich into the near corner. Burnaby with 20 seconds on the clock. Gets it into the near circle. Gaich still has it, works his way in, makes a move, takes the shot right off the goalpost, Andrew.
Nice move getting in towards the net. Had Vince totally beaten, couldn't get out of his stick in time to get as much of the net as possible.
Jay Levesque picks up the loose ball inside St. Catharines territory. Matt Vince now getting a bit of luck that Andrew Lachon's had all night long. Couple of goalposts here in the third period. Craig Kahn works it up high. Flores back to Kahn, back to Flores. Now up the near side, here's Sean Greenhall. Dumps it off. Now Greg Flores gets it to Kahn, far side. Here's Mark Panicia, wide open lane, takes the shot, rebound in front. Jamie Flores missed a wide open net. But what an offensive opportunity created by Mark Panicia, who had about 10 feet to work with on his way to that Burnaby net.
Beautiful rotation by St. Catharines, a completely designed play, trying to get everybody to one side and isolate Panicia on Farina, who doesn't have great foot speed. Panicia just beat him like a rented mule, but he couldn't put it into the net.
2:08 to go now in the third period. We're tied at 5 in game 5. Quick shot and Vince down to make the save. Rebound corralled by Rory Glaves. He'll work it up to Mark Steenhouse far side. The crowd here at the Jack Aycliffe getting into this one in behind their hometown St. Catharines A's. Here's Steenhouse, far corner, 13 on the shot clock. Gets it into Kahn. Loose ball picked up by the Lakers. As Hodgson will carry it up along the near side. Dumps it off. Here's the captain, Miyashita. Heading in 2-on-3 rush for Burnaby. Miyashita smartly drops it off to Gaich near side. Gaich finds the shot in. Now gets it back. Fires it far side for Lindsey Plunkett. Now 11 on the shot clock. Coming in. Benning gets it. High slot. Looking for a lane. But we've got a stoppage. And St. Catharines will take possession.
Fortunate for St. Catharines as they had a turnover here, or a mismatch, I mean. Steenhouse against Olsen for Burnaby, but they couldn't get the ball to Olsen to take advantage of it.
A's with 1:09 to go in regulation time, have the ball. Mark Panicia, Craig Kahn, Jamie Flores, Greg Flores, and Sean Greenhall, the 5-man unit. There's Flores, near side Greenhall, drops it off. Greg Flores, over to Craig Kahn, high slot. Kahn looking for a way to get to that net, still has it. 7 on the shot clock, winds the shot in, they score! With 48 seconds to go in regulation time, the St. Catharines Athletics have taken a 6-5 lead. Craig Kahn started the play, and the A's are out in front. Oh my, what a goal!
Another play as Leyshaw makes a stop, doesn't know where the ball ended up though. And now here comes the rebound over the side. Flores picks it up. Once again, he's all over it, as St. Catharines has been so far and created those kinds of offensive chances. A beautiful setup there. And the shot clock's running out, so Craig Kahn really just trying to get that shot off and create something. It's exactly what he did. And give Flores credit. We saw him score a goal like that in the first round against the Beaches to give, here on Cogeco, to give St. Catharines a win. He steps in, does it again. Good presence of mind around the crease. And they've got a 1-goal lead, 48 seconds left.
Andrew Lachon very upset at the Burnaby bench. You see the captain, Miyashita, Snyder. Gotta wonder if a little bit of karma's coming back to him. The St. Catharines fans are into this one. Under a minute to go, and the A's have the lead back, 6-5. St. Catharines tonight looking to win their 3rd consecutive game. Remember, they fell behind 2-0 in this best-of-7 2001 Minto Cup National Lacrosse Final. They've come back. They've won 2 big games in a row, and they're just 48 seconds away from winning their 3rd straight and taking a 3-2 series lead into game number 6 tomorrow night at 8 p.m. right here from the jam-packed Jack Aycliffe Garden City Arena. Andrew, you can feel the electricity in this building.
I was just noticing one of the guys over on the other side waving an A's flag. Looks like the guy in that Labatt's Blue commercial who's waiting forever for the plane to show up, and then he realizes there's a party going on. But certainly there's a lot of people in this building. This is exactly the moment they've been looking for. And while we were saying before they were excited, the apprehension is going to rule the room for the next 48 seconds as time can't go fast enough if you're a St. Catharines fan, slow enough if you're a Burnaby fan.
Well, if the A's can hold on, there's going to be a party going on right here. A celebration to last through all the years.
And you're not playing the show, are you?
And the laughter too. 39 seconds to go in regulation. Hodgson down. Leaves a big streak there.
Burnaby calls a timeout here. As Hodgson got a bit of a mauling, but I think after Gary Martin's call, which hopefully has been nullified here and goes into the record books as something we forget about, there's really nothing that's going to go on in 39 seconds that's going to earn a penalty, we'll say. It does not mean a penalty won't be called. And I can't imagine anything would earn it.
Let's go ahead and give the St. Catharines Athletics high marks. Number 1, for playing so well in the last 3 games. Number 2, for the discipline they showed, especially here in the 3rd period. One of their top defensive players, Rory Glaves, was taken down on a big cheap shot by Jeff Snyder. I don't know whether or not St. Catharines knew exactly what happened. I'm sure they knew that it was a questionable play by Snyder. They didn't come out in the 3rd period looking for revenge. They came out, and their revenge was going to be winning this game, and they're 39 seconds away from accomplishing that goal.
Well, I'm not going to say for 39 seconds. However, I will say that so far, St. Catharines has done a very good job. Well, in the last couple of games, they've been in control all the way. They've done a very good job battling back here against adverse conditions, whether it's players getting hurt or being down at various points throughout the 1st period. They've been fighting back tonight, which is something they haven't had to do in the last couple of games, something that didn't turn out too well when they tried to do it in the first 2. So they're really playing a different game tonight, and so far they're 39 seconds away from succeeding at it.
Burnaby will control the ball deep inside St. Catharines territory. We'll paint the picture for you. 39 seconds to go in regulation time. Andrew Lachon on the bench. We're going to put Nick Patterson in because Patterson is a much faster individual. He can get from the bench to the net in case St. Catharines has a break down the floor. So Patterson's going to get a few warm-up shots. And Andrew, this works 2 ways for the Burnaby Lakers. Number 1, Patterson is quicker, as mentioned. Number 2, gives them a bit of a break to rest up their top 5 offensive guys, as well that 6th guy that will come on as soon as Patterson heads to the bench.
Well, this is one rule that I have a problem with. As you know, in the NHL, you don't get to warm up the goalie unless he's actually pretty hurt. Now, I don't have a problem if you're making a goalie switch to get him warmed up. But when you do it with 40 seconds left, so it's basically like a line change, and you're doing it by design, then the idea of spending a minute and a half before a player is shooting on him just doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me. You know what he's out there for, and you know it's a stalling tactic, and you've used up your timeouts. And if anything, if you want to do the warm-up, I think you should have to use a timeout to do it, unless it's in the case of an injury. Because right now, Paul Del Monte's got an extra timeout out of this, while 4 guys who haven't seen the floor since about 1932 are out warming up, like Patterson. I mean, I realized before that Frank Oliviero, or Liverio, see, I was trying to remember all series how to pronounce his name, but he's never seen the floor. He shows up now to warm up Nick Patterson, and meanwhile, Paul Del Monte's just got 2 minutes worth of a timeout that he didn't even own for basically putting in a guy who's going to spend the next 39 seconds running to the bench.
We'll see if that extra 2 minutes helps those Burnaby Lakers, Eddie.
Keep in mind, Patterson's already going to the bench now.
Oh, geez. The ball is down deep inside St. Catharines territory. Olsen has a hold of it, and the officials are saying, hey, wait a minute now. But the play will go on. Under 40 seconds to play in regulation. St. Catharines with a 6-5 lead. Olsen, far side, swatted away by Donnelly beautifully. Still bouncing around, and it's grabbed by Bowman. And St. Catharines will call a timeout.
Very quick call timeout, and a good job by both Fox and Martin anticipating that to keep an eye on it as John Donnelly comes up with the initial deflection. But to keep their heads up for that, and to know that St. Catharines is about to call a timeout so that before a Burnaby player can get in there and swat the ball away, they make that call. Nice job by the officials on that to be on top of it. 25 seconds left. So the shot clock isn't going to be an issue. And this is really going to be a matter, probably, if you put Kahn and Greenhall and Steenhouse out there and say, go run around for 25 seconds like your life depended on it. And as for your Game 5 lacrosse life, it certainly does.
25 seconds is the time remaining here in the third period. St. Catharines, just a tremendous comeback tonight. A game that looked like they maybe weren't up for. They got up for in the second and third periods and have again shown so much heart, so much soul, so much talent. The A's could be just 25 seconds away from having a shot tomorrow night at the Minto Cup, the most prestigious prize in amateur lacrosse.
Point out here, Burnaby's pulled their goalie even though they don't have the ball, so they're going to try and force the turnover here rather than hope to force it as it gets down. They're going to try and do this down in the St. Catharines corner.
Vince has it. He's hammered him behind the goal by Snyder. Loose ball. Snyder trying to get it. Vince doing a nice job. 16 seconds left. Here comes everybody back down the floor. Vince still cut out of his net. Picked up near side Hansen. Now the captain, Miyashita. 8 seconds left. Knocked away. Ham up to Smith. Smith's got a wide open net. And you can put the umbrella in the stand and put this game on ice. The A's will win their third straight and have a chance at the national title tomorrow night in Game 6.
What turned out as a horribly scary moment. We got bottles of stuff flying out of the crowd now. But what turned out as a scary moment there is Matt Vince. I'm not sure how he didn't notice that Jeff Snyder was to his left and ready to take a charge at him. Almost knocked the ball loose. But then just as the ball finally came back out, the A's pounce on it. Smith starts to run down the floor. A perfect lead pass. He's got all the time in the world. Now, I don't know what these fans are doing here. They're throwing stuff over the end boards. I know they're excited, but there's still 2 seconds to play, and you don't want to slow this down. You certainly don't want to get the floor slick at all and have somebody end up hurting themselves with 2 seconds left.
Or Kevin and Carl have to go up there and pick up all the stuff.
It's about time they did some work.
2 seconds remaining in regulation time, and the A's are going to win their third straight. They've got a 7-5 lead. Russell in there to take this one last draw, and this one is over. The St. Catharines Athletics win 7-5 and lead the best of 7 2001 Minto Cup 3 games to 2. Game number 6 coming up tomorrow night live at 8 p.m. right here on Cogeco TV 10. The A's will have a shot to raise that prestigious, wonderful old trophy above their heads for the first time since 1991.
Not the most, I wouldn't call this exactly a completely thorough effort, as they had their spots tonight where they looked tenuous, like they looked a little bit scared, and they weren't playing their full game. I'm joined now by Chris Drennan, but as I was saying, not their most full game of the series, but they stepped up when they needed to. Had some questionable stuff going on in terms of officiating, but I am never one that's going to put the blame for a win or a loss on that. But they did a very good job of coming back off that power play goal, step back in there and get that key goal, and then to have that empty net goal. I mean, they closed this game out in a hurry and in style.
Oh, definitely. I think the Athletics picked it up when they had to, and the score does reflect that.
Now we're looking at the third star of tonight's game. Rory Glaves comes back after that second period injury, plays a very solid effort on defense in some limited time in the third period, but some very important shifts that he came out on. You can see him limping a bit there now, playing basically the third period on adrenaline.
Oh, definitely. He's a trooper. He's one of the toughest guys out there, and even though I didn't think he was coming back, it was nice to see him back.
The second star of the game, Gary Benning from Burnaby. Those 2 huge goals to give them both leads that they had in the first period wasn't enough, but we mentioned before the broadcast, they need some other guys to start scoring.
Oh, definitely. It was great to see Binding scoring because they basically didn't get very much from anyone else.
Craig Kahn with the very well-deserved Gaddis Pro Shot Warrior of the Game award. After taking a pounding all series and kind of succumbing to it a bit in the last couple of games, tonight he took the beatings that Nick Farina and company were giving him, scored some huge goals, set up that last goal that gave St. Catharines basically the win. What more can you say about Craig Conn?
Well, I think he basically summed it up there. The last goal, the sixth goal, actually happened to be down in the Burnaby end when that took place. And it was just a fantastic goal all around. Jamie Flores being in the right spot at the right time. And Craig Conn, you know, a very heads-up play to, you know, try and get a shot that would produce a rebound, which it did.
So, yeah, as we mentioned, that shot was kind of indicative of the problems Andrew Leishon's been having. Whereas Matt Vince is being very good at corralling these loose balls and figuring out where they are. Leishon's having trouble figuring out once it hits him or when it just goes by him. When we described it as a Harlem Globetrotter type tip drill play where the ball actually went wide, but certainly that's something that Leishon's going to want to work on here for game number 6 tomorrow night. Actually, is figuring out where the balls end up.
Actually, I think one thing Burnaby is going to have to work on is loose balls and rebounds. I mean, St. Catharines was all over loose balls and rebounds.
Well, we'll see how that turns out tomorrow night. Right now, we're going to go down to the floor as Derek Wills is standing by with the notorious Craig Conn, tonight's Gator Pro Shop Warrior of the game.
Thanks, guys. Such a tremendous effort tonight from the St. Catharines Athletics. A come-from-behind victory. For the first time in this series, the team that scored first did not win, and a large part of that due to this guy, our Gators Pro Shop Warrior Lacrosse Player of the Game, going to number 8, Craig Conn. He had a couple of goals, and Craig, we've watched you all season long, and you've had these times when you seem to lose your cool a bit. It had to be so hard out for you tonight to not lose your cool. They're all over you. They're not calling the penalties when they drape 2 or 3 guys on you, but you stood up, you played discipline, and you guys come out with the win.
You know what, Derek, yeah, they are all over me, but they're all over all of us, you know what I mean? They're coming after every single player on the team. Everyone else is keeping their cool, so you know what, I have to keep my cool too. I have to help the team out that way.
You got a little war scar on your nose there as well, and it just shows you how hard these guys are battling out there. And what more can you say about the defensive play of this team? They played so good in the first 5 games, but I think in the last 3 wins, they've really stepped it up, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. Both teams are playing amazing defense. It's a battle out there, just like you said. Everyone's taking a beating out there. Our defense is playing amazing. Vino and Net, our defense, I can't say enough about our defense, you know what I mean? And our offense is stepping it up too.
You and I spoke before game number 3, and I told you Don Smith guaranteed me a win. And I said, Craig, if you can win tonight and then win in game number 4, do you get the feeling that you might be able to rattle off 4 in a row? We're now in that situation. The A's have won 3 games straight. They lead the series. Is it going to be a 4-game victory tomorrow night?
You know, I'm not as brave as Donnie Smith is. Yeah, we want to win tomorrow night, definitely. And if we keep playing the way we are and we play with as much heart as we are and as much desire, I think the Minto can be ours.
Craig, I know you want to get into the room to celebrate with the guys, but one final question. The crowd tonight at the Jack Gatecliff Garden City Arena, they were loud, they were boisterous, they were large in numbers. You're going to see the same thing tomorrow night, and you love to see the fans of St. Catharines come out, don't you?
You know what? The crowd's amazing here, and I just want to thank all the people coming out to watch our games and being behind us 100%. That's amazing. It helps the team out greatly, you know what I mean? But tomorrow night, yeah, definitely, it's going to be a great game. Burnaby's playing amazing. We're playing good. We want to win it tomorrow, and it's going to be a great game.
Craig, we've been on you all season long, but we love to watch you play in the same. You've got a lot of guys on your bandwagon. Congratulations on the win and a great game again.
Thanks a lot, Derek.
Craig Conn is our Gators Pro Shop Warrior Lacrosse Player of the Game with 2 goals. He leads the St. Catharines Athletics to a game number 5 victory. The final score, St. Catharines getting an open net goal by Billy D. Smith, and they win it by 2 and take a 3-2 lead in the best of 7 series. Game 6 coming up live tomorrow night beginning at 8 p.m. right here on Cogeco TV 10. If you can't get down here, and if you can, Craig will tell you, get your butt down here for game number 6. The A's are going to have the chance to wrap up the national title, but if you can't, of course, tune in right here on Cogeco TV 10 at 8 p.m. Craig, I'll let you go. I know you want to get to the room. So until tomorrow night, for Andrew McKay, Chris Drennan, and the rest of the Cogeco TV 10 broadcast crew, I'm Derek Wills. We'll see you here for game number 6. Good night, everybody.
don't want you to find a rocket carry from here. She needs to just make contact with this stone and roll out, and Trisha's moving hard, and it's an easy peel. Ontario's kept control of the hammer here in the 6th end.
I just got the stats after 5 ends, and PEI team percentage is 80, and Ontario team percentage is 82. So that, and the score of the game is 2-1. So that just shows you how close these teams are. Well, things keep going this way. Scanning over to the...
that edge, the red, it might have been enough to push it in for shot.
We were just... Sorry, folks, we were looking over at the men's game because a guard at the front was peeled off, and in doing so, the rock came into the house and may have moved the Manitoba rock into for shot rock.
Just for the sand.
In the women's side, we have the free guard zone in effect. PEI put up a short rock. Ontario is trying to draw, I believe, into the house, but they came in a little short, but that's all right. They're down 1, and that rock can be used. Now PEI is going to come in the outturn and try to draw around both of those guards. They're going to try to steal this end. And Ontario, of course, wants to get at least 1, hopefully 2.
Yeah. Hard, guys, hard.
Nicely swept rock by the PEI girls. It's a nice draw into the 8-foot. We're going to be switching over to the last couple of shots of the men's game. Manitoba, on his last shot, moved the rocks around that were around the 4-foot, and now he has left Northern Ontario shot.
Definitely shot this time. There's no guessing about that one.
No. So that was a missed shot by Manitoba.
Too much ice here for a drawing. Must be tapping it back.
It's Brian's outturn, and he is a very, very straight outturn with a lot of rotation on it. So he does take a lot less ice than anybody else does. And the reason why I know that is because they came up to my place for lunch, and we talked about that outturn, and the guys just kept telling him, don't give any more ice. What you're doing is good. Just keep it there.
Yeah. Got a nice guard.
Perfect guard.
Yeah.
On the red back. I thought he might come down right on top of it and try to tap it back to the pile.
Manitoba is deadly on these kinds of shots. Mike didn't waste any time to get up there and put the angle of the berm where he wants to hit the rock there.
If he makes his raise take-up, this end could be disastrous for Northern Ontario.
You know, this is what I can't understand with teams like Northern Ontario. They know the type of team Manitoba is. They know they like run backs. They're experts at doing it. So why would he not have drawn around that to prevent this?
I thought he should have come right to the top of that one. You can tap it back to the red or the back of the 4-foot.
Right.
Sit 1-2 with the second one frozen on the pile.
You have to play your opposition. You're not only dealing with ice conditions and the way you like to call the game, but you have to call the game away from your opposition.
He's very close.
There you go, folks. Look at that.
Bob, you're exactly right, too.
As an old curler once told me, second shot's the best guard.
That's right.
And that comes
Coming
through a
into
lot
the
of
house.
times.
Yeah.
I've seen so many games that the juniors here fall apart because somebody thought a guard would make it safe, and these guys are so good they can just run things back.
Well, this is where the stats come into play, though. I'm sure the coach has looked at Manitoba's stats for takeouts and the accuracy that they have with them. And, but of course, when you get into a stressful situation, they may have told the skip to call a certain way, but you just tend to go back to what you feel comfortable.
We don't really know what Adams had in his mind there. He might have been trying to put that guard up so it was going to corner the Red Rock, so he would take away the raise.
Yeah.
Maybe he just took too much ice or it didn't come up enough.
That's true.
Because if he got past it by 6 inches and covered even 2 inches of it on the corner, he wouldn't have been able to make the run back, or even if he'd been short of it by 3 or 4 inches and covered part of it.
He has a tap back here, raise on his guard.
But it's kind of a game-going shot, but I don't think he has much else.
You know, Bob, this is the point of him, not blanking the end. He lost control, and now, Manitoba is looking at, taking the game almost in hand here by flying 3 buried. And this is Brian's last shot. That's why I can't understand why he didn't throw that last rock to keep control. Like why he was forced to take one in the last end.
So he's coming right through the hole.
He is, and Brian's had amazing draw weight. It's whether or not he can get through that hole or not. They discussed it quite a long time there on the broom handle.
I think it's just as we start covering the boys, the girls are getting rocks in play.
I know.
That's okay. That's what curling's all about, rocks.
Ask Coach go to get 4 more cameras for us, will you?
Brian's releasing the intern here. Sweepers are getting on it.
He looks like he's got
a
back
amount of weight.
Yeah.
Lots of weight.
He's got tap back weight. He just has to curl a bit more. He's through. No, he's not. Oh, too bad.
Tough break.
Well, this may be the game.
Mm-hmm.
You could see Justin McCarthy really wanted to body language that rock over. He is very disappointed with the result of that shot. Mike McEwen is stepping into the hack right now and getting himself lined up for the intern draw here.
I thought that was a little more weight than McEwen wanted to, or than Adams wanted to throw on that rock.
It looked like at least back line.
Wouldn't you think he was just trying to come to the back line on the fourth?
Maybe. I thought that he was just trying to draw to that one, but I don't know.
The funny thing is, when you're a skip and you sit in the hack and you know you've got a point to go through, you just want that rock to get through it. Sometimes you forget to put it. Mike makes no mistake here by drawing in for his 4th and final point here in the 6th end, and that gives Manitoba an 8-2 lead over Northern Ontario.
The way they hit, that's pretty commanding.
A very commanding lead, and I'm sure that Northern Ontario is not feeling its best right here. Okay, now we're going to switch back to the Ontario game and the PEI game. See the final rocks come down here.
Oh, nice hit.
We have a nice, almost a triple here.
Terry didn't know which one to sweep.
For that little Megan Boston. I mean, that is a tremendous shot. Yeah, I skip Gloria and Bob. I've seen her be very slow and deliberate on her broom calling or the calling up for games. She's not easily excited. She's very cool.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to make too many mistakes, too. Her strategy seems pretty sharp. The first few ends were conservative, but they were conservative on both sides. She's ignoring that front rock. It's a dangerous rock to leave there.
That's why the Bouchard just asked, was that top one on? And yes, it is.
I would think it is. What do you think, Bob?
Whether it's on or not, it's in a dangerous spot for PEI.
This rock seems to be curling nicely. They just have to get it by this guard, this long guard, and hope that it has some legs to get in there. They're still pounding away on it now. Look at that rock curl, Gloria. That's beautiful ice to do.
Great shot.
Just barely sneaks by.
I think she might be shot.
It's a good spot. It just kind of corners that yellow out to prevent us from
Well,
crazy.
it's not such a great spot, Gloria, because, I mean, Ontario has to do is just, hit half that rock and it bounces and they get a roll.
Yeah.
Ontario needs to really grab a deuce here and take some control of this end.
Well, it's looking pretty good for them right now. If she makes this shot.
Right now,
Megan Golson is curling after 5 ends at 85%.
you know, I'm talking to Brian Balson, their coach earlier this week. He was saying that they're a team that just sort of gets through the round robin. This is a tremendous shot here, Bob. 2 great rolls.
Yeah.
I think she's only first and third right now, though. I think the red rock at the back is beating the yellow behind the corner guard. And it looks like Suzanne Goody is going to the back row.
Suzanne is percentage right now is 81%.